All right. All right, guys. I'm here today. Good morning. I don't really want to be here today, but I'm here today. Hello. What's up, guys? Nvidia still up to 227s. Hit almost 230 yesterday. Marvell, bad earnings. Went down. Down like 7% from earnings yesterday for Marvell. Some read through in AI is important to understand. The NASDAQ is doing absolutely zero today right now, ahead of Jackson Hole in the BLS benchmark revision. It's literally doing nothing. It maybe literally is not the right but it is doing zero. Look at the NASDAQ right here. Like, here's the NASDAQ. It is going nowhere, doing nothing. It is the choppiest morning I've seen since Vietnam. All right. We're at 29,622 here this morning. Nvidia up to 227s, but the NASDAQ is doing absolutely nothing. All markets are essentially waiting on Kevin Warsh's first keynote at Jackson Hole. The Jackson Hole Symposium goes live at 10 a.m. It might move yields, it might move markets, it might move everything. All markets are essentially waiting on that. And because of it, the NASDAQ's really not doing anything. We can see Nvidia moving a little bit here. Oil is back up to like $83 a barrel, so it's a little bit more elevated. But we're hearing back and forth things regarding the Middle East, to be honest here. So, like, we're hearing a bunch of different things regarding the Middle East. We'll see if any of that plays out, but hello, guys. Good morning. Let me say hello to everybody. Britt is here also, by the way.
What's up? Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. All right. So, what's up, Ava, Zeke, Steve, Rooftop, Cho, Zeke, Jonathan, Craig, Edson, Jay, Ashun, Old Hack, Ace, Rays, Mr. Digital, Pew, SPG, Live, G-Man, Brian, Neon, Digital, VA, Boyce, UE, Roberts, F8, Dave Down Under, Brent, Pawn, Leah, Best Investor Craig, Empty Guest, C-Man, Pav, Vic, Patrick, AI World, Christian. Who's EBT? My poor Marvell. Yeah, Marvell is down. You're in Vietnam? Yeah, get in the chopper now. Good morning, all. Late. Just call me Mo. What's up, Mr. Mo? Marvell earnings are fine. Yeah, but it's down. Marvell earnings are down. I mean, it's down from 240s down to 220s. So it's down like 7-8% right now. So they might have been fine, but markets did react to them fine. Yeah, September's here. Sometimes we have what we call a September slump. Yeah, Marvell did well, right? But the problem is, like, I'm not talking about a bad earnings. I'm just talking about a bad reaction to Marvell earnings. So it's not necessarily that they were bad, and this is a trend that we've seen in markets pretty substantially, where the earnings weren't bad per se, but markets still went down from it. And yeah, you can see Marvell right here, 222s. So, I mean, the earnings weren't bad per se, but their guidance was okay. Can't wait for October. Hit the like button. Bullish or bearish talk. What the heck does that mean, HE? I have no idea what that means, bro. Somebody digest or somebody decipher that word he just said. I don't want to try to say it. But look, Marvell's down. Nvidia's starting to rebound back up this morning. Again, gold sitting at 46.5s, basically flat. Next week's honestly a busy week too. We got Jackson Hole Symposium with Kevin Warsh today at 9 o'clock Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. We also have the BLS benchmark revision, which is relevant. It is important. You know, a lot of people are projecting weak jobs in that benchmark revision number. The last one I covered was bad too, but that was a while ago. So we got the benchmark revision today. But again, Marvell earnings are pretty good. They posted 2.739 billion versus 2.71 billion. Non-GAAP EPS 94 cents. They expected 93 cents. GAAP EPS 33 cents. Data center revenue was good at 2.17 billion. Record cash flow ops. Strong sequential growth. Above average year over year. Above the consensus year over year at 37% year over year growth. Record quarter two revenue. But again, they raised guidance significantly from 11.5 to 12 billion. but they still went down from this. Gold is up a little bit over the last few minutes. Oil is up, but the market honestly really is not doing much here. Hey, what's up, FOMO? Wishing you a profitable day. Thank you, GP. I appreciate it. Hope it will. Kevin Warsh be hawkish or dovish? PayPal and Stripe aren't doing their deal anymore. No. Yeah, PayPal is down big. I'm in PayPal right now. You don't love to see it, but PayPal is down because Advent and Stripe abandoned the 50 billion pursuit of PayPal is what it is. So there's a Stripe deal in the works. There's a takeover bid. It collapsed. Advent and Stripe are giving up their pursuit of PayPal, $50 billion PayPal deal. So PayPal is down from it right now. You can see PayPal here down to $51 a share. This really happened yesterday, but they're still down pretty net from it. I'm still good in PayPal though. My average price of PayPal is 44. So I mean, we're still green. We're red on the day for sure in PayPal, but we're still green in this thing. So
we can always buy more.
I could buy more. I don't know if I'm going to. PayPal, I think people still use PayPal, but I think with crypto, it's a lot less. I think a lot, like it's just a lot of different things are eating some of PayPal's business. I don't think I'm gonna hold more. I probably should have taken some profit off of it already, but that's okay. Is the Warsh talk next 2 hours? Yes, it's in 2+ hours. Really, it's in 2.5 hours. Oh, really? I didn't know that, Max. Yeah, I didn't know what he was saying. Anytime somebody says something that I don't know what it means, I just don't say it. Because who knows? Could be a trap. They could be trying to trap me. You know?
It's true.
Yeah. Marvell is priced in when Jensen said they were going to be a $1 trillion company. What's up, Ty the Fly? Happy Friday. Yes, sir. And we will see what we get today. McDonald's broke its 1-year low. Good dividend value play. I don't know. I like McDonald's as a company. I think they're going to make money. I think they're one of the most successful franchises. But they've been having a downward trend lately, man. They've been dropping really since March. And they haven't really stopped for McDonald's here. Retail's just getting hit a little bit, but you know.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, they've been dropping since February, really. You know, they hit highs at 340 in February. Yeah. So they've been falling since February, March. Starting to break some of these ranges here in McDonald's, but we're watching them. We're watching them. Again, do me a favor. Hit that like button. How many likes do we have right now? Y'all can do it. All right.
We believe
55 likes. I believe we can do better than that. But it is kind of a slow day, bro. I want to make it sound exciting. Don't get me wrong. But the NASDAQ is doing nothing. S&P 500. Let's take a look at the S&P. Nothing. Gold's moving a little bit, but not a lot. Oil, nothing. Nvidia is starting to creep back up. It's starting to try to go back green on the day. But overall, I think markets are going to be a little muted ahead of Jackson Hole and all of this stuff. Again, Warsh's first major keynote is at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's his first major speech as Fed chair. The BLS benchmark revision is at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the same time as always. We have Michigan consumer sentiment also at 10 a.m. We've got Chicago PMI at 9:45. Again, NVIDIA long-term outlook lifted tech after earnings Wednesday. Salesforce has had its best day since 2020. So CRM ripped up. And so we got some optimism in tech right now. It's doing a little bit better, but gold around 4,600. Where are yields at this morning? Let's take a look at yields, because I think yields are going to matter ahead of this report. We can look at the Fed rate hike odds as well. That's going to really matter also here. But like you can kind of see, here are yields today. Yields are pretty flat too, I guess, all things considered this morning. Yields are basically unchanged since yesterday at noon for 2-year treasuries. We can take a look at the Fed Watch tool here and see what they're going to say regarding this. 36%. This was at 34% yesterday, so it's moved up about 2 percentage points. Not a crazy swing on this either, to be honest. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. Nvidia's a buy. Marvell is a decent buy under 200 billion. Happy Kevin and Brit Day. Is today Brit Day? What's up, Taps?
Apparently so. Thank you. It's a wonderful day to be me, I guess.
It's a Brit Day. You know, it's Brit Day. Bitcoin's still sitting roughly where it was when I looked at it yesterday. Bitcoin at 79,655s. So let's see if we hold. I mean, 80,000 stared at us for Bitcoin. There's 80K right here. But Bitcoin's still sitting right there. I mean, it went down to 79. Go ahead,
probably
dude.
hit it, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it already did the other day. It went up to 80 something. Yeah, 81.5s yesterday. Yesterday it got pretty high. Every time it gets up there, it gets slammed back down though. So like every time it gets up there, it gets pushed back down. This has happened a few different times. You know, you can kind of see just in the last week here for Bitcoin. Monday went up to 80,000, got rejected. Tuesday went up to 81, got rejected. Thursday went up to 80.5, almost 81, got rejected both times. And then early this morning, I guess, or maybe this was last night, it went up to 81.5s, got rejected, slammed back down. 79,000 has been holding some support for Bitcoin pretty regularly here, though. So 79K has been holding fairly well. And so if it continues this trend, maybe it gets up to 82s today. I don't know. The more it tests it, even if it gets slammed down each time, you know, eventually it could break. So.
Oh, hey, what's up, Boomdoc? Good morning to you.
Yeah, here's Apple. Apple's green. Meta's up to 572s, but they were at 588s yesterday morning at the open. Amazon's still sitting tight. How are Nano futures? Are they still waking up a little bit? Here, let's take a look at Nano futures. I mean, the volume's still not good, but like, how are they after the opening bell? It looks like you do get some movement at the opening bell for Nano futures here. Here's the opening bell right here. So these are Nano futures. But this is the NASDAQ. What did the NASDAQ do at the opening bell yesterday? Did it move in a choppy way? Assuming it did. Yeah. I mean, this basically mirrors what it did. It's just no volume. But it moved a little bit at the opening bell, so I guess you can trade these at the open some. They're slow, and there's probably bad fills. What about single stock futures? Opening bell for these is right here. I guess you can trade single stock futures at the open also, but it still looks pretty flat. This is NVIDIA single stock futures. And it kind of did what it wanted to. I think going to earnings days it might be better. Hey, what's up, Faye? How you doing? I heard I entered IBIT long. $42, $3.19 the other day. I'm lurking. Market is pushing up. What's up, Tanvir?
Hey, Faye. Good morning.
I hate Fridays. I forget 6 p.m. Look for futures to open again and forget it's done for the weekend. Honestly, I do the same thing, Max. Jackson Hole is going to be a nothing burger if Bitcoin doesn't break the 50 WMA. We're going to go back down. Build-A-Bear ticker, please. People really want Build-A-Bear, though. Like, I don't know. It's been a long time since my kids were young enough to, like, I remember going to Build-A-Bear when my kids were young and them just getting hyped up about this freaking bear. I mean, they never saw it. They never hung out with the bear again, probably. You know, probably spent $200 on a bear just for them to hug it once and never hug it again. But I do remember it being an experience. You going in there customizing the bear. The prime age for Build-A-Bear is probably what, like 4? 4, maybe. Maybe a little bit older.
Oh, I was gonna say 15. Yeah.
I'd take a bear, bro. I'll have him build a Kevin Warsh bear, you know.
that should be really funny.
And bring him on stream, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Let him hang out in the corner. Right, I can put him in an office. I can write it off. It could be an office decoration. I could write it off. You know.
Build him his own little office in your office.
Yeah, that's right. AMD's at 473, but yeah, Marvell earnings yesterday, they were good. They were good earnings. But again, it wasn't good enough for the market here, apparently. The memories were worth the money for the bear. You're probably right. I remember taking my daughter there, and she was hyped up for that bear, dude. She got to customize it. She was hyped up for it. My son was never really about it, you know. But my daughter
I'm all about the
freaking loved
custom
it.
bears, dude. You know, I
Yeah.
saw them on eBay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Brits Bears.
You know.
No, it's like a stuffed animal that you can basically customize. You can be like, I want this color. I want this fabric. I want him to have glasses. I want him to have a hat. All right. I want him to say this.
I want him to have a mustache, you know.
Yeah, right. For sure.
I don't know why a bear would have a mustache, but, you know, it happens.
Yeah. I didn't see the GTA 6 Netflix trailer. I noticed it was out last night. But I was laying in bed with my wife, and I felt kind of bad being like, hey, baby, you know, let's watch this GTA 6 trailer on Netflix. She would have been like, no, dude, we're not watching that right now. We're going to sleep. And I'll be like, all right. What's up, Robert? How you doing, dude? All right, this music. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's a slower day. It really is right now. We got to wait for Kevin Warsh and Jackson Hole Symposium in like 2 hours. But it's a little bit more boring of a day here. Unfortunately.
It's kind of a Mr. Potato Head Max, except you can't remove the features once they're on.
All right, the NASDAQ just started to dip a little bit. Let me make sure we don't have any news that I missed here. But, yeah, Michael Brown posted this. Who is this man right here? Hold on, look. He said, on the subject of Jackson Hole, one hell of a statement jacket from the Kansas City president. Look at this man. Oh, this man is serious right here, dude. This man is about it, you know. He's about to go out there. Kansas, too? He's from Kansas? Oh, man. This dude's about it.
Hey, nothing says cowboy like a $5,000 suit.
Yeah. And it's one of those, you know, the turquoise ties, like, you know.
Dude, he looks like Mitch McConnell. Sorry.
He does. He might be. You know, maybe this is. Look at the NASDAQ start to dip here. We're at 29,616s. Oh, that man's about it. Yeah, look at him, dude. He is.
I mean, look. I mean, like I poked fun. I mean, like, but it's still a dope jacket. You know, I like it.
I don't know if I'd wear it.
Oh, dude, I would totally rock that, and I'd look good in it too.
I could see you wearing this, Brit. You know.
I would totally wear it. Hey, man, I got the cowboy boots to go with it. You know, already.
I'll buy you a suit like this. It'll be a bonus, Brit. You know.
Heck yeah.
You got to wear it on stream though. You know.
Yeah, it'll go with my my red cowboy boots from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. I'll probably put it in sub-only mode pretty quick. I see some of the spammers. Old money.
Basically,
Yeah.
KFC Colonel. I guess those vibes. Yeah, I guess it does kind of fit.
Yeah. Rhinestone Cowboy. Yeah.
And it's a good song, John.
It is a good song. I mean, I listen to it. I like some of the remixes of it to be better than the original, to be honest. I know. I'm too new age for it, but yeah, so Michael Saylor's been posting about Bitcoin here. I'm thinking about buying this 200 exponential moving average dip right here. I'm a little nervous about it though, because I'm bored in the market right now. Not a lot of big news outside of Marvell overnight. Kind of a choppy trend, but you know what? We're gonna buy this anyway, dude. We definitely lost money yesterday, which is fine. A bored mark is probably not good, but hey, I believe we can bounce. I'm just hoping we get volatility here. We just bought this dip. Can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see it. All right, good. I'm gonna add some more down here. But the price action is absolutely freaking terrible right now. All right, we're in 10 contracts. Buy it. How you guys doing today? Are y'all green? Some guy's asking for $5,000. Let me look back up. If he's never said anything ever before, he will get banned for life here on this channel. Never give him $5,000, guys. I mean, I don't think y'all would anyway, but...
Well, I absolutely don't, but I think it was like a more... yeah, I think it was adding on to the joke about the suit.
Oh, is he?
Well, I think so, because that's what I said. Nothing says cowboy like a $5,000 suit, so I think he was just kind of adding on to that.
Okay. Dill.
I might be wrong.
Whatever.
Look, if he asked for $5,000 again, then he's probably not just playing along.
Yeah. Dillawark. Are you a bot, bro? Say something, or I'm giving up on you, and you'll get booted out of here forever.
Did you mean to? Song lyrics?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Say something right now, bro. Like, let me see. What is your favorite band?
His favorite band is Give Me $5,000.
Yeah, no, it might be right now. That's my favorite band too. Shit,
Yeah,
All right. We're in this trade. Visual, I can respect. You're not a bot. Yeah. All right. Look, I'm not getting any answer here, so it's time for him to go. All right. Let's see. Let's find him.
But
yeah. All right, Dilla Warkin. I don't even know if I'm. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not, but it doesn't matter now.
I like that he's apologized. I'm not saying his name wrong as he's kicking him out.
You're banned forever. Get out of here. Banned for life. All right, guys. The Nasdaq has not moved. Like, I'm in this trade.
Canadian of you, John.
What's Canadian?
To be incredibly polite while you're banning somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Good morning, chat. What's up, Bruno? Oh my gosh, dude. I don't know how to make these songs stop. Like, you build a playlist, you put all these songs in the order, and then it doesn't play it in order, and it just randomly pivots to this song. It's on instrumentals, too. This person should not be rapping on the song.
Well, if we're going to hear lyrics anyway, just put it on the Eagles. It's way better. And they've got an amazing catalog,
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I'm in the trade. I'm basically in one mini contract right here. I'm trying to let this work though, but the Nasdaq is doing nothing for us today. You're I don't even know how to say. I don't even know how to say it.
Sorry, but you're oot.
Yeah. Bud.
You're oot here.
I can hear Bud in there. Like.
Yeah, you're oot here, bud. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty Canadian. Anyway, that works.
I was actually just laughing at Max's comment there.
Yeah. Play some Master P. No limit. I haven't been listening to Master P lately, but I've been listening to C Murder. That's Master P's cousin, I'm pretty sure. He looks just like him. Ironically, or I guess not so ironically, he's in jail for murder right now.
Big shock.
But he's got some great music though. He's got some great music. All right, look, we are getting a little pop up here. Okay, I want to take a little bit off of the trade. We bought the 200 exponential. Let's see if we hold up here though. It's his brother. Okay, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
See, I thought it was like C murder, like SEE murder, like you're a witness to murder, like you're gonna go narc. I don't know.
No.
I'm kidding. I knew it wasn't.
Listen, all y'all done heard of him. He's C Murder. I've
never heard any of his songs, but I have heard of him.
Yeah. All right, so we're up. I just took half of this off. Yeah. We bought the 200 exponential. I think when it's choppy like this, it's time to just buy little dips here. But we'll give it a second. Yeah, I don't know what you just said, Type K. He said, good morning, John and Brett. Is it me, or does a good week Aldo's end up with a bad fight day, and vice versa? What?
I mean, clearly that's something about, I'm assuming about Josie Aldo or UFC or something. I can't really tell.
No, I think they called it Faye. I don't know. Some of them had to. Yeah, I can't tell if he's talking about UFC or the market right now. I really can't tell. But yes, the answer is yes. I don't know what that means. Bought 5,500 shares of long-term bonds. Pays 4.8% every month. Hopefully it rises.
But nonetheless, good morning to you, Type K.
Yeah, good morning, dude. All right, do me a favor, hit that like button.
Yeah, spell check did mess that up, dude.
Yeah, BYD had earnings, net income of 12.3. Is BYD down big? They're reporting BYD, but I can't really look it up. It's like 1211 HK. All right, so we're now down on the rest of this. I don't know what to do. We bought the 200 exponential, but I'm not liking this at all now, so I'll probably just sell it. Yeah, we're starting to drop. We could just chop sideways, but this range is absolutely horrible for markets right now, chat. The NASDAQ is not doing anything here. No scary news today. The only big scary potential news we have is Kevin Warsh in the BLS revision at 10 a.m. Eastern time today. So that's the only really big catalyst we have today. We do have some other data coming out, but again, it's pretty quiet right now. The NASDAQ started to wiggle some, though. I'm going to make sure we don't have anything. Let's see, NASDAQ stock. Let's see, ETFs. The news is pretty quiet here, dude. Really.
I don't know. Here's some scary news. According to Bloomberg, as researchers better understand heat stroke, they're learning that one hot day can affect your health for years to come.
Is that true?
Apparently, I mean, it's what Bloomberg says. I don't know.
One hot day is going to negatively affect my health for years
to come, it says. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty scary to me. So there you go, scary news.
But how does it affect? Yeah, I mean, that is scary for sure, you know. But in that situation, wouldn't... I mean, you'd have to look at the correlations between places that are closer to the equator versus other places and see if, like, they just on average have worse health statistics, you know. Like, that's what you would have to look at.
Well, yeah, probably, but I mean, like, I'm assuming these you know, quote unquote researchers, you know, probably did, like, you know, peer-reviewed double-blind studies or whatever you do, you know.
Maybe they did.
So I'm assuming I'm assuming they're not just throwing that out there like willy-nilly and random, like, hey, what if we put this out?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to have some type of data to back it up, but
yeah.
I'm from Louisiana. It's hot here, you know. Hot
days
days better not negatively affect, you know.
Anybody from here, and I know there's a few people in the chat from here, anybody from here knows, like, you can basically go outside early to mid-morning and, like, late afternoon. The rest of the day, you just need to stay inside.
I know, dude. Carol's been trying to go sit out there at, like, noon. You know, she's like, hey,
I'm not going outside at noon.
Like, I'll go out there and play chess on my phone while I sit out there with her, but man, it's hot. I don't know. I can't do it for that long. After like 5 minutes, like I'm like, all right, baby, I'm going inside. Like, that's it. I've done it. This is why I stay in the AC and don't go outside. I mean, I go outside, but not that. I've been going fishing, but I can't stay out there long.
So like a mini heat stroke can do permanent damage that isn't obvious right away. I mean, that, again, like, I doubt they'd put that information out there if it wasn't true, or at least, you know, verifiably true.
Yeah. 84 degrees. Yeah, Robert says that's BS. I worked outside for 17 years. It might be. I hear a lot of stuff. Some of it just goes, I'm not saying I don't believe it, but, you know, the problem is, like, there's so many contradictory things going on, and so it's hard to tell what's the truth and what's not, to be honest. Anyways, yeah. Gold's starting to break down. We're at 46.50s here. So gold is under the VWAP. I might short gold right here. I'll try to short it. It's small. It's kind of small. Gold moves a little bit weirder, but I am in short on gold right now. We are in 5 contracts here. There we go. Small trade. little bit more slippage in gold though, but we are in gold futures. There we go. We'll take a little bit more off down here. Alright, so we are shorting gold right now. I can hold the rest probably close to break even here. PayPal? Yeah, PayPal is down because Stripe and another company backed out on their $50 billion plan to deal with them. So PayPal is down pretty significantly from it. London was trash. You talk about the London Open. Yeah, I mean, markets are slow right now, dude. Everything's boring here. Not a lot's going on. I think markets are essentially waiting on 10 a.m. today for the Jackson Hole Symposium. Not a lot is going on here.
Well, to be fair, there's a reason we talked about heat stroke for 10 minutes.
Right, for sure. We talked about sea murder. We talked about heat stroke. You know,
talk about sea murder getting heat stroke. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. We talked about Build-A-Bear. All right. Like that's the best we could do this morning. We're trying.
I mean, interesting stuff, you know, but
that's kind of what happens when there's nothing going on in markets and the Nasdaq's super flat.
Yeah, you know, you kind of drift from topic to topic, like how I'm better at Halo than John.
That's just not objectively not true. Who did better yesterday, Britt?
Well, I did one game. The first game, I had like 18 kills.
Well, what about the rest of them?
Okay, you. I was very off yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, Jarrett? I didn't take a single trade during the overnight session. Usually I try a few hundred in cushion heading into the open. Yesterday was your water bill. The water bill is an interesting conversation, though. If I want the chat to say stuff, bring up my $1,200 water bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It worked. Did I say $1,200 water bill? I did say $1,200 water bill. Energy bill was $900. You know.
Now ask me what my water bill was last month, John.
It was probably like $50.
It was $33.
Bro. It's nonsense, dude. Yeah. Yeah, the early morning crowd is fun. All right, so we're still in this gold short. I want to see if it holds. It's very small. I was hoping it would break down more. It wouldn't be small if it broke down a little bit more. And we're up nicely from it, but this market price action sucks. Hey, what's up, Barefoot Sailing? Must have a nice lush lawn. Bro, the crazy thing is we don't even have that much grass in my house. Like, you could ask Britt. Like, we got a little bit of grass in the front yard. The rest of it is basically no grass. You know?
Yeah, no,
like, there's very little grass to water here. It's mostly...
Well, like, where there isn't concrete, there's still, like, rocks and, like, a couple trees and, like, no grass.
Right. The people who had the house before us had like a Zen garden in the back. And like, look, that's cool. But like, we didn't keep that just because we're never going to freaking use that.
He sounded like the Big Lebowski, you know, and that's cool, you know.
And that's cool. You know? Like, no judge. If you like Zen gardens, I'm not judging you. Okay. But we're not going to keep that up in my house.
I'm secretly judging, but you know, that's just me.
We maybe should have kept. I'd go sit out there. Maybe I could have traded out there. It could have been a segment on the stream. You know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, everybody could watch you like rake rocks for Serenity.
Yeah, Zen trading with John is what we could call it, Britt. Yeah.
I'm in Arizona and my water bill isn't $1,200. That's diabolical. Dude, that is diabolical.
There's something wrong. I figured it out. Yeah, there's got to be leaks.
Oh, dude, you know what it is? I left the upstairs sink dripping last time I was there.
Oh, that's it, dude. You now owe me $1,200, Britt. All right, so we did just get a drop here. I'm gonna take a little bit off down here just because we dropped enough quickly. Let's see if we keep breaking down here. We're shorting gold right now. We've taken some off here already. I want to see if the shorts continue. Yeah, 100% a leak. No water in Texas.
That is true. Well, not in East Texas. East Texas is still pretty swampy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I am. I'm in Southeast Texas. West Texas
Yeah.
is a different animal, you know? Like, you go
My dad
west.
worked out there for like 3 years. He said he hated it.
Yeah, it's all cowboys and freaking, you know, which is cool, you know? But,
hey, that's cool.
yeah, which is cool. I like cowboys. I like some country music, you know?
Yeah, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, so
Sourdough guy is back.
we're in short. NASDAQ did keep falling after we ended up buying the 200 exponential and then getting out, but this is the NASDAQ today, guys. There's just not much of a range. We'll look at some levels a little bit later here, but the range is even worse than what I've drawn. The range is just this, you know. And what do you do with this? Like, we're chopping straight through the 200 EMA here. Like, we're basically confirming a lot of choppy. What it might mean is that at 10 a.m. maybe we get volatility getting unlocked. I'm still shorting gold, but
Britt is the third member of the Wet Bandits. Is that a Home Alone reference? Because if so, I'm one of the sticky bandits, sir, not a wet bandit.
the Wet Bandit.
Yeah.
The Wet Bandits are the ones that left the faucets on as their calling card, right?
That's totally me.
It might not be a bad idea. Look, I'm not advocating for this, obviously, you know. And you can tell I'm contrarian sometimes because now I'm arguing for the Wet Bandits. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it might get rid of some fingerprints leaving the house to, you know, that's all I'm saying. Maybe there's maybe there's a use case argument for that. Yeah.
I like Dane Cook's bit about that, about like leaving stuff in people's houses.
Yeah. Gold in the middle of nowhere. YouTube now has 1 minute unskippable ads. What it do, nephew? What's up, AT? Real Money's about to enter the chat. Lunar eclipse last night. I didn't see it, bro. I told myself I was gonna watch it, and then I just fell asleep. My wife and I both were like, "Hey, there's an eclipse tonight. We gotta go see it." None of us saw it.
I'm sorry, guys. Honestly, like I got that it was a Home Alone reference, and I loved that movie as a kid, but I haven't seen those movies in like any of those movies in like 25 or 30 years.
Oh, bro, you're just not a Christmas person, then, dude.
I guess I'm not. Like, to be fair, I always loved Christmas as a kid in terms of like getting presents and spending time with my family. Dude, I hated decorating the tree. Like, it was like a big family event, and I disliked it.
Bro, in my household, we're watching those movies at bare minimum once a year. Like, at bare minimum, all right? Like, like the end of November rolls around, it's Home Alone time. All right? Like, we're watching them at least once a year. All right? We're watching them, Scrooged, great movie, Bill Murray. We're watching, what's the other Christmas movies we watch? We're watching Elf at least once.
Tell me you watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's the very best of them.
Oh, yeah, that's the other one. We watch that one at least once a year.
And the best Thanksgiving movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I mean, I would say that's more of like a Thanksgiving movie.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, so gold is breaking down here, though. So we are making money in our gold short, which is great, I guess. And at the very least, we get some volatility in something. But a Christmas story once a year for sure. If you look at my x.com page, right? Like, if you look at my x.com page, this is what... I've had this message pinned for years on my x.com page. It's when I got the play button from YouTube. It's a lamp, you nincompoop, but it's a major award. I want it. It's a Christmas story reference, you know. I've had that pinned on my page for years. Love the Christmas story.
It's a great movie.
All right, where are you guys watching the stream from? Hello. Let's see if we hold here, though. I'm shorting gold. Maybe I'll add more to this. But it's almost 8 a.m. Yeah. Bad Santa.
Bad Santa is hilarious, but you can't exactly watch it with your kids as a Christmas movie.
Wait, Philly, you say you're from Poland, bro. Aren't you from Philly? You gotta be from Philly, bro. New York City. Work. Fragile. Ireland. California. Lake America, Cape Town.
You've never heard of Philadelphia, Poland?
No, I have not. Liverpool.
Me either, because I just made it up.
Mom's basement. Hey, that's fair. Do I add more to the short position in gold? Maybe I do here. Let's see. You know what? We just added more. We're in 4 contracts short of gold here. Let's see if it keeps breaking down.
California, Portugal,
Chicago, Philly, Polka. Yeah. From home. All right, this is day 3. No vapes. I heard somebody try to mess with me about vapes earlier. Day 3. No vapes. I've done it. I can't lie though. I tried to hit a cigarette yesterday. Got immediately freaking nauseous. Right? Like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna. Because my idea was like maybe I could smoke, but just not vape and wean off of it. Right? I tried it once, got super nauseous, couldn't even get anywhere near it again, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I don't like it anyway. I mean, like the on the rare occasion that I do, like, you know, smoke again, like if I'm going out somewhere or whatever, like, still don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm on day 3. All right. I'm calling it day 3, even though I tried to, smoke one yesterday, but to be fair, it didn't work, and it's good. You know.
Well, you're also, on day 3 of quitting vaping specifically, so you know.
Right. Yeah. You got to take baby steps here.
Yeah. Keep forgetting you're from Germany, Steve. I don't know why.
Yeah. Wait, Steve, you're German? No.
I mean, he said that a couple times over like previous streams. I just always forget.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I know.
All right, so gold's still breaking down. I'm in gold short. I've been writing it down most of the morning here, but it's pretty slim moves in gold right now. There's 8 a.m. You are cheating us. You are cheating yourself. What? What are you talking about, bro? How am I cheating you guys? I know, but how am I cheating y'all? That's the funny one. Maybe I'm cheating myself. That's the funny one. All right. Look, I'm in this short.
Stop vaping. Start smoking. Be a man.
That was my logic yesterday. It didn't work. Apparently, I'm not a man. I tried to hit it once, got immediately nauseous. Had to lie down. You know.
I wish I'd have been there to see it. I bet it went something like this.
Yeah, that's basically how I felt yesterday, bro. I had to like raise my legs up. I had to lie down and put my knees up and like sit there for a second. You know, like a freaking baby.
LOL, think of us, John.
Yeah, Warsh is at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Oh, I'm not German? Okay. Yeah, your last name kind of seemed Germany. Fotzing?
Yeah, like
sounds kind of German.
I don't know for sure, but it sounded that way a little bit to me as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've slowly scaled out of this, but this is taking a long time. Markets aren't really moving, but we've been shorting gold most of the morning here. Let's see if it keeps breaking down. We'll cut the rest of this close to break even now. We've been holding this for, like, longer than I usually hold trades. But hey, it's been working. Alright, let's take a little bit more off here. There we go. Nice. I think I'm going to cut it right here, actually, and just get out. So that's nice. We're up like 150 or so on the day, shorting gold early this morning. The NASDAQ, again, is not really moving much at all. If you look at the NASDAQ, you can see why I'm not even going to attempt to trade this today. Look at this range. Basically, the NASDAQ is barcoding here. No, they're not doing much. What are the chances of a rate hike in September? Right now, they're what, like 36%?
35%.
Yeah, 36%.
Nicotine is the most addictive thing, and it's so easily accessible. Honestly, I found it much harder to stop drinking cold drinks than to stop smoking cigarettes.
No, quitting cold drinks are easy, bro. You just got to go buy some of that flavored carbonated water that doesn't really have that much sugar in it. And some of them taste exactly like a cold drink, and you just kind of pivot to those, and you stick on those. Like I don't drink Cokes anymore. Really, I don't drink soda. Those carbonated waters that have just a little bit of flavor to them. You can get ones that taste like Sprite, and then you just switch to those. But again, I gave up cold drinks a long time ago. There's too much sugar in those things, man.
I don't really. I drank a half of one yesterday, and that's probably the first one I've had in 6 months. You know, like I don't really drink.
Yeah.
I had to wean myself off of them though.
Yeah.
And they also make ones like the non-sugar like carbonated beverages. My cousin drinks one that tastes like limoncello, and it's really good.
Yeah, we're from the South, bro. We call cold drinks, we call sodas cold drinks, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
or pops or whatever.
No,
I mean,
we
like,
don't call them pops.
I have a bunch of different names.
The North calls them pops, right?
Yeah, my dad picked it up when he lived in Illinois, and so we call them just Cokes or cold drinks or pops. Like we always switch back and forth between different names in my house for some reason.
Yeah, I got out of gold. Gold just bounced up a little bit here though. Lockheed Martin enters a 2.25 billion 364-day unsecured revolver and extends a 3 billion revolver to August 24th. CXMT also, which is the company that made people nervous regarding China chip production, posted some numbers here as well. Let me look at where's MU at this morning. I know, yeah, MU is down. Chips are still down pretty substantially this morning too. Like here's MU, here's SanDisk. So these have fallen down after gaining some more optimism, and all of these have been in the wake of a pretty large pullback here. I mean, they're not as low as they were. MU hit lows in early August of 770. It's currently at 916s, but they're still getting pushed back down a little bit here. Yeah. Cold drinks is not a thing.
I beg to differ.
Bro, my aunt, my grandmother, very Cajun lady, said cold drinks all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you go to down here, if you go to someone's house and said, "Do you want a cold drink?" they mean some soda. Type of carbonated sugar beverage. Yeah,
they mean soda. Nasdaq just jumped up a little bit though here. I don't think this is news related, but the Nasdaq's up to 615. Nvidia went down to the volume weighted average price, and now it's starting to bounce back higher. Long or short here today, guys. I mean, this is very difficult price action to trade today, to be honest.
I love how adamant people get about like their regional names for certain things. Like, no, it's called this.
Yeah.
Like hoagies, grinders, and po' boys.
It kind of makes it so it's very difficult to figure out what they're talking about, though. You know.
Yeah.
There's too many names for them.
I know. I agree. I just think it's funny. Like some people get mad about it, you know, and they think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Nvidia is bouncing back. That could be what's driving some of this Nasdaq strength here. Here's Nvidia. It's a very small bounce back though, but it's still really quiet this morning in markets here, chat. I see blue collar jobs are the new flashpoint in data center fight, according to the Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal just posted an article saying blue collar jobs are the new flashpoint in data center fighting. Let me see if it'll let me.
Yeah, I was just reading about that. I actually saw another news bit about it, and I've been kind of keeping up with it, you know, over the last few weeks or months or whatever. But a lot of those places, like Meta and other people who are building data centers, are starting to train their own electricians, which is great because we have a serious deficit in skilled labor in this country.
Yeah, well, like essentially what it is, it says much of the. I'm reading what the preview of the article, but it says much of the public outcry over data center construction is centered on electricity cost, water consumption, and noise. Now a new battlefront is opening up over jobs to call it the backlash to the backlash. Nationwide resistance to the construction has grown so broad that politicians on both sides of the aisle have halted approvals or tightened oversight as midterm elections approach. Unions and construction trade groups are now entering the fray from the other side, warning that such actions endanger thousands of building-related jobs. They are threatening to withhold support and more. So, good. I mean, I'm against most of these data centers, to be honest here, bro.
Why?
They're raising electricity costs for everybody. I mean, look, I gotta look at my water bill. All right, look at my electricity bill. I blame data centers.
Well, I mean, at short term, I understand that, but long term, most of these data centers, from what I understand, or the people that own the data centers, more specifically, I guess, uh, have plans to build out their own electricity grids.
Yeah.
And so, in the long run, it should make electricity cheaper, or at least not more expensive.
Was y'all's first week of day trading? Yeah, no, for sure. 100%, Britt. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Somebody said, was y'all's first week of day trading green or red? I'm pretty sure I was red. I'm pretty sure what happened is, like, I had a green day. And I was like, you know what? I'm green. Let me trade this IPO. You know, I'll buy 50 shares. It's small size. And then I lost like $500. And then I got so emotional about losing that $500, I'm pretty sure I ended up losing more after that. I started pushing harder and losing more. And then I lost more. And then I lost more. And before you know it, I was down thousands.
Yeah, it definitely happened.
Yeah.
More often than not, I would imagine. Yeah, someone says that's why we need nuclear. Well, I mean, we are getting back into nuclear. They're talking. I don't know if they've broken ground on it, but there's new construction on another reactor in the nuclear Bend, the River Bend nuclear facility down here by me. They fired up another reactor back in Michigan, and there are plans to build, I think, a lot more. Right? And you can just add on, like, you can just add more and more units onto the existing plants.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they already have a bunch of nuclear plants in Michigan as well. Like where I go in Michigan, there's one that I know a lot of people that we know out there work at.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, they just fired up a reactor that was shut down. They just fired it back up in Michigan. I had some neighbors that retired from up there, and actually moved back up there to work in it again.
Yeah. Yeah, FRB, what did you call me, bro?
What?
Look at this thing. I'm gonna show you, Brad. I'm not gonna show the chat because, you know, chat's got baby ears. But I feel attacked at this, dude. Here, look at
this. Like
look.
it is a Tory, as opposed to what, a wig? What the heck?
I don't know, dude. I just read it. I don't even know what I could have said to invoke this, or to evoke this. I mean,
I don't either. I think you just existed, and that was enough.
Yeah, no, that's true. Maybe he's right. I don't know. That happens to me now. Go ahead, Bert. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just, last thing I was going to say about the data center thing is, like, realistically, it's I think it's unavoidable. We have to have them, in order to keep up with competing countries, especially China. And so I know people are unhappy about them for certain reasons, but I just don't think we can. I don't think we can sit it out, is the point, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like where the world is heading, to be honest. Right?
I don't either.
Like,
but how do you stop it?
eventually, yes, we needed to compete, and I understand that. But when you zoom out and you look at the net effect of all of this, it's going to be a situation in which, like, I don't know, the future looks a little dystopian. I think, like, surveillance, like, all of this is bad. And the net effect, long term, is going to be less freedoms for everybody, I think.
Yeah, we're basically going to end up in altered carbon.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen that show.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. But
boo, Brett. Don't you boo me.
All right. Anyways, gold.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Boo, Brett. That's what I'm saying.
Boo this man.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, we were in gold. It looks like I got out of my gold trade at the right time, because since I got out, gold is basically just chopped sideways here. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know what's real anymore. Yeah. And I get it, right? Like, I get it. We have to compete. I get if we don't, then we're going to fall behind. And like, I understand it. Like, I understand the evolution of technology. You want to be at the forefront of it. And I get it. But it's just it's a scary thing to look at. Maybe we execute it well. Like, maybe we do it well. Maybe, It's not as bad as we think it's going to be, but I think there's also a chance that it's worse.
If history is any indicator, we won't.
Yeah.
New technology always takes a while to find balance.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
I don't know.
But I just think this new technology is much more powerful than previous examples and previous evolutions.
Well, yeah, honestly, I just think probably the best way to think about it, is like there was an economist named Thomas Sowell, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him, but he said that there's no such thing as solutions, only trade-offs.
Yeah. No, for sure. Absolutely right. All right, gold starting to bounce back. We're at 46.5s here. Am I the only one that is pro data center? I mean,
I'm not against them. I'm
not against them either. Go ahead.
I don't know what impact they have. I don't know if they have the impact that people are saying that they do, or because I saw something the other day that said data centers actually use less water than just everyday average households. Like all told.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do know, that we shouldn't be building them out in the desert and things like that. I mean, I know that there's less worry about environmental impact out in the desert, but there's also no water in the desert. You got to get that from somewhere.
Yeah. Beginner trading uses more water than data centers anyway. Y'all might be right at this point in time, dude. Maybe, like I said, I should open up a data center. John's data center. Tagline is have a heart. Give me your data. And we'll see. Maybe I'll get rich from it. That's an idea. We're using the water already here. I'll tell Kara we're going to pivot from watering plants to data center. And we'll see what happens.
Just build a tiny data center in your backyard and run pool water through it.
Yeah. John's data center. All right, guys. So NASDAQ, again, still in this range. It's starting to push up towards the volume-weighted average price. So maybe we'll move a little bit more. But John's data center in Zen Garden.
Yeah, I saw that. That was great. Kind of reminds me of Ron White's, like the airport hair care and tire center.
Yeah, that's right. We got plenty of water. Hero, do you guys support data centers? But yes or no? Let's hear it. Do y'all want them to build more data centers right now?
Seems highly divisive.
Yeah, look, NASDAQ is starting to push up a little bit, though. Let me make sure we don't have any news. S&P swing up in positive. Very quiet for jobs or for numbers here today. But again, we do have Jackson Hole Symposium at 10 a.m. We have the BLS benchmark revision at 10 a.m. We have Chicago PMI, I believe, at 9:45. So we got Warsh speaking at 10. Michigan inflation expectations at 10. Payroll benchmark revision at 10. Last time they revised it down 862,000 jobs. So today, we'll see how much they're going to revise it down again for, But the NASDAQ is starting to push. Memory names like MU and SanDisk are still pretty quiet. Marvell, again, down big overnight. Big percentage-wise, it's down like 7% overnight, even though it had pretty good numbers here. Salesforce and like CrowdStrike and some other software names are flat on the day. Microsoft just went green slightly. I'm really tempted to short this, though. All right, we'll go ahead and try. We're already very green on the day. We'll try to short this at the VWAP here.
I believe in you, John.
It's been flat. We're going to try to attack a flat range today. And it's small size right now. We took 10 contracts earlier. But again, do you support space data centers? Yes, in space. In space is the place. Yes. Yes, out in space.
I was going to mention that Midoriana, but honestly, I was not sure enough about the types of systems that they use to. I didn't want to misspeak, but I thought that was probably the case in terms of using closed loop systems.
Yeah, I'll ask. Do you support data centers being built in your area? It's what we'll also add to it. Yes or no? Do you support?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. All I was going to say is that's the poll right now. Do you support data centers being built in your area?
Okay. Honestly, yeah, I do. I mean, maybe I'll regret it later, but right now I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might, you know,
If
short term, it's not
if
going to
they,
be bad necessarily. The real question is just at what point do you hit a breaking point with all this technology? Is the real question. Like, at what point does technology grow so much to where it's a huge liability? Is the question, I think. And I think we're still. Oh, hold on. Nasdaq's still pushing up. I think we're still a ways out from that. And maybe we don't go that way.
I think we're past that point, honestly. I mean, realistically, I'm not like gonna sit around and like fret about it and wring my hands, but I think we're long past that point.
Yeah. All right, so we got to move up here. I'm trying to see if we liquidity grab here. I will cut this if it breaks this high again, though. But I want to see if we liquidity grab. We popped up some. Maybe I'll take some of this off.
And realistically, if all these companies that are building data centers essentially rebuild the power grid and expand the power grid and keep water consumption as low as possible, like if they really do run on closed loop systems and the water usage is not as high as we think, and we don't build in improper places, I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, but those are a bunch of big ifs.
Short term.
Yeah.
I know. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I haven't done enough research myself, and even if you have done the research, you have to wait to see what reality actually bears out.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And yeah, I mean that is a lot of big ifs. Like if Frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass a hopping. But
yeah, AI is the new data center.
And just to give credit where credit is due, I stole that from Willie Nelson and Dukes of Hazzard.
All right. I'm probably gonna cut this. I think it's probably time.
But regardless, I just don't think we can get away from it anyway, so I don't worry about it too much.
I think we have to compete.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Especially considering we're competing with countries that don't have the regulations and the permitting and the licensing and all that stuff that we have, the environmental inspections, which I'm not saying we shouldn't have environmental inspections. I'm just saying when you're competing against a country that doesn't care about those things, or multiple countries that don't care about those things, you kind of just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, look, we just took some of these off. We're just chilling here now, waiting. Data centers are inevitable and necessary. Yeah, no, for sure. I just, I'm kind of torn.
Yeah.
Speaking of this,
well, and some of this, I'm just playing devil's advocate, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I just saw an article that says energy and tech stocks are dominating the market this year. Energy has been the best performing S&P sector for 26 trading sessions year to date, the most among all 11 sectors, followed by tech at 24 days, communication 19. Healthcare have each been the best performing sector for just 15 sessions so far 2026. Energy sector has gained 42.8% year to date, outperforming every other sector. All right, so we're still starting to head up. This is mostly driven by NVIDIA here, I think. Gold, NVIDIA. Memory bouncing back a little bit, but NVIDIA bouncing back some. Tech is rebounding here. We're at 227.50s right now.
Thanks, Farmer.
Yeah. V-shaped reversal. Wish I didn't sell my ServiceNow calls the other day. Yeah, I mean, software. ServiceNow up to almost 140s from 120s. It's up a very large percentage in 2 or 3 days. Inverse oil. Yeah, I mean, I'm still green on the day here. But we lost on the last trade. Nasdaq finally breaking out of that range here. So we're actually finally starting to get some better price action today. The morning was really slow. No one's talking about biotech. From an investment standpoint, I like the natural gas pipeline companies. Definitely need data centers. Can't let China beat us. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, don't build it in my neighborhood. Build it in yours. Yeah, I'm for that. Take Two Interactive is now pretty green. And this is one of the trades we talked about earlier. It's not that green, though. I don't know if there's that much edge. And we kind of went down leading into it, right? So maybe you could have bought the dip leading into it. I think people are I don't know. It dropped it. Are people really that impressed by it, though? We're at 6. I still think the game's going to break records, obviously.
What game?
GTA 6. On Netflix right now, there's a 26-minute preview of it where they showed gameplay and more. Yeah.
I'll probably play it. But...
Yeah, I'll play it too. But it's still a long ways out.
Yeah.
All right, look at the NASDAQ still run up here, though, guys. So the NASDAQ's starting to rebound here. Michael Saylor just posted this. It's actually pretty funny. Look. All right, let's look at this.
Bitcoin is the apex property of the human race. It is perfected money. Bitcoin is the best asset. There is no... There is no second best.
Yeah. You gotta love Tom Lee, man. Giving out, yeah, he gives out these bold predictions though. He's gotten really famous from you know, just giving out all these predictions. But yeah, look, anyways, NASDAQ up. Let's see if it holds. Good morning, John. I hope you're well. What's up, day trading with Tony? I saw the Treasury say they have not bought a single bond yet, apart from that operation. Lame. You can still use gold.
Jeez, where'd that come from?
I don't know. I don't even want to read the rest of the article. Yeah, I'm sure it's, yeah. All right, is it long or short right here, guys? What do we do here? Again, we got Kevin Warsh today at 8:30 or at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see the timer in the bottom of the screen. Again, if you haven't already, check out Apex, guys. You can get 90% off on Apex right now. Great way to help support your boy here in the channel. We got Kevin Warsh later. And if you appreciate hanging out with us every morning, you can use my code BGT at checkout. Get the max discount. Here's Apex here. Again, you can get 5 accounts for $75, 1 account for $16.70. End of day options, no activation fee option. You can get a 100K no activation fee account for $59. You can get 5 of them for $295. Pretty good freaking deal here on Apex. Use code BGT if you want to help support the channel. If you want to check out Lucid, Lucid has direct to funded, and I believe Tradeify also has. Do they still have that new 300K account that they offered? I know they offered it for a little while. But yeah, if you want to check them out, use code BGT. Here's the Apex link. Great way to help support us. We appreciate it. We'll see if we get to the overnight escalation, though. The month is mostly over here. There's Apex's link. I'll put it to the top of the chat. Up or down post Jackson Hall. Who's Jackson Hall? Yeah, look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin at 79,560s. Will it break 80,000 today, chat? What do you guys think? You guys think this thing's getting over 80?
Maybe, probably. At least briefly.
Yeah, I know he meant Jackson Hole, guys. I know. Oh, gotcha drops, yeah. J-Hole is going to be a nothing burger. I don't know. I think at 10 a.m. we got a bunch of different things coinciding to the same time. We have Jackson Hole, Keynote, Warsh. We got the BLS benchmark revision dropping at the same time Warsh is set to speak. We got Michigan consumer sentiment data also dropping at 10 a.m. So at 10 a.m. we get a convergence of catalysts right at 10 o'clock today. We get Jackson Hole, we get BLS benchmark revision, we get Michigan consumer sentiment data. So I believe that is the main reason the market has been mostly quiet this morning here. is because markets are centered on that. Yields are basically flat on the day as well. We can take a look at like long-term bond prices and see that they're actually down a little bit, which means yields are up slightly on the day. But the net effect is that we are up since last Wednesday, where, you know, Bassett announced his doubling of the bond buyback. It's not quite QE. QE is like printing. This is more using existing money from either the Treasury General account or short-term issuance to fund, you know, stimulating the bond market and trying to bring yields down. But again, I think markets are waiting for Jackson Hole. 10 a.m. stuff hits the fan. Yesterday was the second largest ever market cap day in a single gain for Nvidia. So fry. Let's hope it rips again. Let's see what happens at the opening bell. QE was done in 2020 and 2021. Yeah, it was. QE is a desperate decision by the Fed, generally. Like, it's yield control, but it's more desperate version of it. It causes more inflation long term. So like we do yield control with quantitative easing, but you got to think about the story of it. Again, in 2020, you had lockdowns, you had, you know, businesses failing, you know, so like they were like, okay, well, how do we fix this? Let's step in and bring interest rates down to zero, and then try to do yield control and bring interest rates and yields down faster. With quantitative easing, let's just print a bunch to get us out of this, is essentially what they said. And again, it ended up kind of working. Like, we bounced back a lot faster than we maybe would have, but we also saw a lot of the restrictions of the time ease up, right? Because like we had supply chain restrictions, we had all these different things that were negatively affecting growth. We had low interest rates, we had you know, stimulus checks, we had we had government loans. Like, there's a bunch of things that caused inflation from that period of time. But you know, they did QE in 2007 and 8, I believe, as well. So they do it generally to try to... All right, so here's 8:30. Again, we don't really have any data at 8:30, but the NASDAQ is starting to fall a little bit now. I don't think we had 8:30 data. We had Canadian GDP show up, but that's not really going to move anything. So the topic of today's Jackson Hole Symposium is financial innovation implications for payments and policy. Again, Kevin Warsh keynote. The president posted an image saying "No more Mr. Nice Guy" as of 6 minutes ago. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. That's all he said. Hello.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. I don't know, bro. On the...
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you, P. Morton, honestly.
Let me make sure this is right. Now I'm reading something about... All right, look at the NASDAQ dip here. Again, the president just posted "No more Mr. Nice Guy." It's like a... Yeah, I mean... It's not really moving anything, though. I'm thinking about buying the VWAP right here, but I'm also worried. I'm also reading on the Kansas City website that the keynote is at 8 a.m.? That would have been 30 minutes ago, and we would have heard something from that. They've got to just have their time. What? Hey, buddy. I love you, dude.
Love you.
Have a great day, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still showing 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central is when the keynote is scheduled for. And so unless they switch it up, we just bought this dip. I might add more here, though. I don't know if this is dropping from the president's tweet. It coincides with right around that point in time, maybe a little bit later. Again, Canadian GDP 0.3%. They expected 0.2%, 2% year over year. Expected 2%. 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Alright, so yeah, we are in we're at the volume weighted average price. Very small trade though. I'll let it work here, but again, Jackson Hole Symposium is at 10 a.m. today, Eastern Time. Let's see if we bounce. What do you think about this whole Lake America stuff? It's funny. He's the biggest troll. I mean, he is. It's funny.
I think
you know.
funny. I mean, I'm the one that typed it, so.
Yeah, no, I was just reading what you typed.
I know,
but I do think it's funny. I think it's a little antagonistic as well, but I do think it's funny. I think any country he beefs with, he's like, you know what? Gulf of America now. You know what? No more. It's now the Lake of America. You know, so
I know. I mean,
any
like,
country he beefs with.
It's definitely antagonistic, and I know it's a little childish, but it's still funny. And I'm sure people will disagree with me or get mad at me for feeling that way, but like, you know, you can't help what makes you laugh, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think regardless of which side you're on, it's funny. You know. All right, so we're down in this trade. I'm gonna have to cut it all of a sudden. We're dipping down here. Gotta make sure this isn't news related.
If he named it Lake Dolly, everyone would have gotten behind it. Dude, that is true.
Yeah, he's gonna change the name from Poutine to Americatine. You know, that's the next step here.
Is that like a related product to Ovaltine?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Drink it, Britt. Drink it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know why. I got in long on the Nasdaq. I think it's so choppy on the day though. Maybe the only real move is to attack this range. But it looked like we were gonna start breaking out of this range, but nope, we didn't. At least the opening bell is approaching here. Yeah, I mean, look, y'all are getting too emotional about like politics in general, which I don't. Like, I'm very neutral. Like, people get dragged in different directions with politics. Again, I'm neutral, guys. I'm not gonna go into it politically. It's funny, you know.
Well, even on the things that I'm not neutral about, I can separate myself. Separate myself from like the subjectivity of it all.
You got to be able to make fun of everything, I think, and like I think if you don't, if you're too serious about different things, it's
stresses you out too much.
Right. It's just not how I live my life. I'll make fun of everything if I can. Nasdaq trying to bounce, but still pretty big range and flat. I'm trying to. There's not really any news moving it. I'm watching Nvidia. Nvidia did bounce. Bitcoin's still breaking down. It's under 29.5s. Yeah, let's see if we hold here. We're at 29,620s. Bitcoin is hitting 80,000. While it's run into 80,000 numerous different times and then just rejected and not been able to hold. Yeah, y'all are all getting into things I'm not talking about.
Everybody's getting mad.
Some of them are getting mad. Some of them are agreeing it's funny. And it is funny. All right.
Yeah.
It's a funny that we got a president that anytime he beefs with the company, he's like, you know what? We're taking away y'all's names. It's ridiculous, but it's funny. And again, I'm not rooting, like, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. I just think it's funny. And it is funny. Yeah, it is funny.
And also, for anyone getting mad about a name change, realistically, like, names and things have changed throughout history, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the next president we get on the other side might just bring the names back, so who cares, right? Like, I can laugh at it for a few years, and, you know.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, NASDAQ completely flat on the day. Oil is starting to fall down here a little bit. Look at oil. Oil's dipping down some. I don't really see any reason for it, though. NASDAQ's starting to hold. I see the Bank of England's man is speaking on Bloomberg TV right now, but I don't think they're really moving anything. Markets are starting to wake up. Maybe markets are going to start getting priced into some of this potential volatility we'll get from Jackson Hole in the symposium in like an hour. I'm waiting for it here. Are you guys red or green on the day? Red or green? Green, green, green. Flat to leaning red, 10 years moving up. Green, then red, now green. Green one trade so far, $35. Green, break even, big red. Verde, green. England can't move anything. England just taking, you know, catching strays out here. My last name's London, guys, so I take offense to that. Hey, thank you, Maxime. Green on Lucid Pro with your code. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Again, you really want to help support the channel. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button right now.
You know you want to.
Just try it. Just try it.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Britt knows.
Yeah. Actually, I guess if everybody was doing it, we wouldn't be telling you to do it, but do it.
I mean, we got 150 likes, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't asked for a like this morning. Yeah, green, but need to find another 215 to lock in this Apex payout. Hey, good luck, pawn. Around 81,700 Bitcoin option contracts worth approximately 6.4 billion in notional value expired Friday, August 28th. Yeah, Bitcoin's down. I mean, it's not up today, but it's doing a little bit better. But Bitcoin still continues to break down. I'm also watching gold here. The gold breakdown has been pretty quick. Like gold is down to 46.40s. Gold generally trends a little bit better. I might just switch to only trading gold. It's better than the NASDAQ today. Hey, thank you for the $2. Great name, by the way. Thank you, man, for the $2. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate it. Lurking's fine, dude. What a name. You kind of, like I said, you kind of have to lurk with that name, I think. In high school, Kevin Warsh once spilled his water bottle all over his James Bond DVD. I'm kind of sad DVDs went out of business, you know.
Yeah, me too. Especially because I have like 4 or 5 like really good documentaries on DVD.
Yeah, you still use them, but
yeah, you can. But eventually, they're gonna, you know, the DVD player's gonna wear out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still, at least they're still in like Xboxes and stuff. So who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the donation, though. War, appreciate it, dude.
Thanks, man.
All right. NASDAQ is jumping up. There's got to be some type of news here. Gold is moving up as well. Let's take a look at it. There's got to be something that just happened. President Trump says 4 big meat processors are a nasty monopoly that make life miserable for U.S. farmers. Goldman Sachs increases 12-month target for Japan's TOPEX index. I don't see anything else though. Maybe it's just a weird green random, like decent sized candle at 9:40 or 8:40 in the morning. I don't see anything else that would drive this, to be honest. Hey, thank you for the donation, my friend. Thank you, brother. Huge rally today. Longs, be careful shorting. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Algos are just doing their dance. Yeah, I mean, look, I know we're kind of sideways here. And we did break over some of this range. But the interesting part about this price action really is we have such low volume right now. Like, we're not really moving at all. Time to short. Long or short here, guys? What do you guys think? Yeah, pretty good range for this amount of participation. There's just no volume right now. The volume's pretty quiet. The famous 840 scrum. Yeah. Dollar is moving. I mean, it's kind of moving. It's up on the day, which means a little bit higher yields, but it's not moving that much, to be honest. Memory moving up. We're up to 77.5s. In the S&P. Again, are y'all long or short here? What do y'all think? Long, barely green, waiting for 9:30. I'm in long, but it might reverse again. Mean reversion. I'll be green because of SanDisk. Yeah, thank you guys for the donations. We appreciate it. Things don't rally hard on Fridays. I just joined. Have we talked about Marvell? Yeah, we talked about Marvell. Marvell had good earnings. Good, you know, down 7% though. And the rest of markets are basically muted today. Today will be so insanely green. I am flat. Big dump coming after the opening bell. All right, we'll see. I mean, we got Kevin Warsh, the benchmark revision, and more coming live at 10 a.m. We got Michigan Consumer Sentiment at 10. We got Kevin Warsh at 10. We got the BLS benchmark revision getting announced at 10. I don't know how I'm going to cover it all, because if Warsh starts speaking, I can't really talk over him during his keynote. I'll have to put it up in the chat and give you guys the info as the Warsh situation happens. A little strange, but hey, we'll cover it nonetheless. We'll figure out a way to drop it all at the same time for you guys, but 10 a.m. is when markets are essentially waiting for today. I think we got a lot of time. Gold is slightly red, but it's been breaking down for the last 10-15 minutes. After Warsh says they aren't going to do anything again, the market will go up. So you essentially think that Warsh is going to dispel some of the hike fears and, you know, basically come out more dovish than expected. Again, the big question, I guess, is hawkish or dovish Warsh. Will Warsh be hawkish or dovish? And again, I really don't know. Hit the like button. He'll speak in a hawkish tone, but softened. The keynote might start at 10, but he won't speak right away. I mean, I don't know. He might do the, like, they might do the keynote with Warsh and then pivot to everything else afterwards, right? So they might do the keynote first, let him come out with his opening remarks, and then go to everything else afterwards. And so it might be right at 10. Yeah, I mean, if we can look at the rate hike odds right now. Rate hike odds, again, 36% the last time I looked at it. They're at 35 now, so they've gone down a little bit. I don't think we're raising rates next meeting. You know, you could argue, hey, PCE inflation was high, but it was headline PCE, and we already kind of knew headline PCE was going to be elevated from oil prices. It wasn't super elevated though. It was 0.1% over expected. CPI was lower than expected or flat. And so I just don't think we're raising rates. I don't think the market thinks we're raising rates now as well, with 64% chance that we're going to pause next meeting. The real question is, do we raise rates at all this year? I think. I don't think we're going to raise rates next meeting, but do we raise rates at all this year? Jobless claims were hawkish, weren't they? Jobless claims were mixed. I think they were slightly higher than expected, but claims numbers aren't really going to push. They're not big enough. Like, how many people filing for unemployment week to week is important. But like with jobless claims yesterday, they revised the previous ones weaker, higher, and this one came in lower. But they weren't crazy. Like, it's not like jobless claims showed up at like 170 versus 208 expected. They showed up at 203 versus 208. And they revised the previous ones higher. So, like, kind of mixed. An interesting look today is going to be the BLS benchmark revision. Those are job revision numbers. Last time we had a revision like this last year, they revised jobs down. What was it? They revised jobs down. I saw it last time. 862,000 jobs revised down, last one from last year. So we'll see what the BLS data looks like for jobs. And then next week, we actually get a jobs report. So we'll see what this looks like. But the BLS benchmark revision at 10 is relevant as well. Last time was 862,000 revised down. NFP was dovish last time for sure. What's up, bro? Just tuning in from New Zealand. What's up, Joseph? Raising? We're going to slash rates? Nah, bro. I don't think we're slashing rates this year. Oil dropping. We're not cutting this year, I don't think. Oil is falling a little bit here. Which is good. We got this low right here at 82.5. So let's see what happens for oil. Hey, thank you for the donation. Whatever gold does, it does the opposite. Yeah, no, I feel you. I get it. Isn't it 10 minutes from now? What? Jackson Hole? No. Or wait.
Mm-hmm.
No, the payroll's benchmark revision is in an hour at 10 a.m. It's now almost 9 o'clock Eastern time. Michigan Consumer Sentiment also at 10 a.m. Warsh also speaks at 10 a.m. So it's all at 10 a.m. today. It's all in about an hour. It's going to be after the bell, not before it. Bro, I wish the... Yeah, I'm reading about the Jackson Hole Symposium. They said they would post material, but... I don't know. On the website, it does say Kevin Warsh, 8 o'clock, opening remarks. But that, in theory, I mean, look at oil. Oil's still falling down here, 82.5s. Just broke lows. All right, so again, we are still dipping some here at NASDAQ. At the top of the range, but still in a pretty sideways range here. But it looks a little bit better for the NASDAQ. 9 a.m.'s here in 7 minutes. Oil's starting to crack lows. I don't really see any news driving this, though, to be honest. President did put a tweet out 5 minutes ago, or a little bit longer than that, talking about meat plants and processors. But outside of that, it's still kind of quiet here. I think markets are just kind of waiting now. Again, Fed Chair Warsh is going to deliver a keynote at Jackson Hole. And there's a bunch of different central bankers on the docket at Jackson Hole. We have U.S. prelim BLS annual benchmark revisions. Previous one was actually down 912,000 or so 860 to 900 plus thousand. Michigan consumer sentiment data drops simultaneously. Chicago PMI drops in like 45 minutes. Options expire. Gold, silver, copper, August 26 futures. Brent, October 26 futures. But again, this year's economic symposium at Jackson Hole is titled Financial Innovation, Implications for Payment and Policy. Again, Warsh is due to deliver marks around 10 a.m. Eastern. Traders are going to use that to try to figure out what the path is for near-term policy ahead of the 16th of September policy meeting that's coming up next month, which I do not think we're going to raise rates. Maybe we do, but I don't think we do. Again, Warsh has a bias against issuing forward guidance, though. This is very different from Powell. Powell would give out outlook. Warsh is going to be a lot less willing to give out outlook. That's his bias, is he doesn't like to have a bias. He's not going to give out his bias. His bias is he doesn't give out his bias, basically. But do you guys agree with this sentiment? Do you guys think Warsh should give out future projections? Or do you guys agree with his no outlook bias? Let me know. Again, previous Fed chairs have used this to signal upcoming policy action. However, again, Warsh has said he's not going to do that. And so this has led to some more volatility. His lack of details at the July post-meeting presser didn't necessarily help the bond market. We had a slide in longer data maturities. Since then, and since the July meeting, expectation for rate hikes have eased, though. But again, ahead of the meeting, we basically had 50-50 in terms of hike. I thought hikes were overpriced. We got into some good trades based off of that, but I did think hikes were overpriced. Again, like Warsh, a lot of people think Warsh is likely to kind of just restate the Fed's commitment to bringing inflation back to target. All right, let's check the chat. We can't raise rates. Nvidia run up. I agree. Warsh needs to pump my stocks. Rates will eventually have to be raised. Warsh makes swing trading more fun. Kramer should be the chairman. Kramer from Seinfeld or Jim Kramer? You know. Giving outlook is trying to predict the future. I mean, I think you can make educated guesses, though. But Drake every time he says task force. Warsh is just noise. It is entertaining. Yeah, it's more unpredictable than ever. To give an outlook is a shot in the dark. Why is silver pumping? Just him speaking will give clues. At least people guessing at clues. Yeah, I mean, it's going to move things a little bit. We don't know what he's going to say, though. And the question is, how do markets respond if he does not give out guidance today, which is... Is this Christmas music playing?
I don't know. Is it chestnuts roasting by an open fire?
No, but there's some bells that just came out on the song. You know? I like a good Christmas music, but...
Like silver bells?
Yeah.
Silver bells.
That's right.
Bells.
Yeah. The Christmas beginner trading stream is here, guys. It's here.
What's up, CJ?
Yeah. I bought puts yesterday. Warsh's voice is annoying. Yeah. If he speaks, got to be about U.S. business, won't be football. Well, duh, yeah. Warsh is just noise. Bassett is yield curve control. All right, so the Nasdaq's starting to dip down ahead of 9 o'clock here. I would trade, but we got 9 a.m. Again, Goldman Sachs did raise its 12-month price target for Japan's Topix index. The question, again, how do markets react if he stays neutral and doesn't give out a outlook? So it's not a good idea to trade at the opening markets today. I have no idea if it's good to trade today. I think markets might be nervous, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, look, again, you got a couple different ways to look at this. I think you could look at it in regards to like, hey, Warsh is probably not giving out forward guidance, and so whatever we do is essentially baked in already. We're not really going to move that much, even with Warsh speaking. But I think the question mark, again, 10 a.m., we got a lot of different things releasing at 10. BLS benchmark revision. Last one they revised jobs down over 900,000. We have Warsh. We have Michigan data. Live all at 10. All of this is live at 10 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, so we got a jobs report kind of coming out at 10 a.m. as well, to be honest. So we got like jobs, all right, NASDAQ just popped over that 665 level here, though. Powell would violently gulp after each sentence. Yeah, water was transitory, bro. We need everyone jobless. I bought some circus peanuts. That's good. You know, bro, everybody hates on the circus peanut candy, but honestly, as much as I hate to admit this, I like the circus peanut candy, dude.
What are you talking about?
You've never had circus peanut candy? Like the like kind of rubbery orange circus peanut candy, where they're kind of like
the red dyed peanuts.
They're not real peanuts. They're candy.
Oh, no, I've never had those.
They're kind of like gummy candy almost. I like them. They're good.
I'm sure I've seen them. Are they like in the cheap dollar section candy in like the clear plastic bags or something?
Yeah, it's kind of like boomer candy. I see somebody in chat. That's basically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We need a XRP to the moon. All right, guys. There's 9 a.m. Not really getting much movement here, and the NASDAQ has been incredibly disappointing. Yeah, they're kind of marshmallowy. Yeah, Max is right. Yeah, they're kind of
I dislike marshmallows, so.
Yeah.
Except for in cocoa, but that's only the tiny little marshmallows.
Honestly, they're kind of good, dude. I hate to admit it. Nvidia's starting to push back up, though, so we are getting some movement. Here's the dollar index. The dollar index is falling. Nvidia's still pushing up some. Let me make sure Warsh doesn't pop out of here and just start randomly speaking here. Bro, after Bassett, I kind of got PTSD. Everybody's like, Bassett speaks, guys, 2 p.m. today. 2 p.m. today, Bassett's going to talk. And so I'm like, okay, great. Let me prepare for this. Let me schedule this stream. Bassett comes out of left field just saying, you know what? We're speaking at 1 o'clock today. Missed the whole thing.
Can't believe you would do that, John.
I know it's my fault, dude. It's my fault. I should have been more on it.
Yeah.
All right, so there's 9 a.m. NASDAQ's still in this range, although it seems a little strong here. Nvidia earnings definitely propping the NASDAQ up over the last few days. Look at it start to go up some here. There's a move. Whoa. Maybe it's just another weird candle here. That's a larger move. See, I've seen multiple moves like this today where like we just kind of pop. U.S. Trump administration is reportedly working on AI rules to reduce China's remote access to the chips, according to the information, citing sources. I don't know if that's what's doing this. Nvidia is jumping up some right now. But there's a big green candle all of a sudden out of nowhere. Could be 9 a.m. scrum. I mean, it did correlate with that or coincide with that, but... Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and everything. I don't want them having access to our AI, but more than that, I would like them to not have access to our electrical grid and water systems. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't believe those aren't on, like, closed circuit systems.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did get a pop-up. And I don't know whether to buy or sell this here. Be nice if Marvell goes up today so I could sell it and buy MU. All right, NASDAQ is down to 670s. But Goldman Sachs again raising its 12-month price target for the TOPEX in Japan. All right, so U.S. exporters have sold 182,000 tons of soybeans to China. Again, U.S. is developing AI regulation to limit China's access to chips. I mean, they're doing it to us. I mean, that makes sense, I think. All right, NASDAQ is up here, though. I don't hate where we're at now, but I'm also nervous we're just going to range into Jackson Hole in an hour. I didn't see any news, Chris, to be honest. So China restricts our chips there, right? And so now I'm seeing the U.S. administration is reportedly working on AI rules to reduce China's remote access to chips. And so this is just probably a response and them doing it to us. We're starting to do it to them. And we've already been doing it. This is kind of back and forth. But I don't think that's what really moved markets. It could have been, I guess. But yeah, we're going to watch Warsh live, Bjorn. Again, he's not speaking yet. Again, Fed's hammock is speaking right now. Inflation will end the year around 3%, not meeting the target, according to the Fed's hammock. Again, hammock says inflation will end the year around 3%, and that is currently not meeting target. They said, again, this year's economic symposium is titled Financial Innovations, Implications for Payments and Policy. Warsh delivers his comments at 10. Warsh told reporters in July that his remarks will aim to frame the big picture questions rather than offer any clues about near-term path. All right, guys, we got 23 minutes until the market opens. Yeah, I saw they reported earnings as well regarding CMXT, I think. SanDisk ETF. Hammock doesn't see restrictive financial conditions. Is Marvell going down to 200 in your educated opinion? Definitely. I mean, no, I'm not saying it definitely goes down. I was going to say definitely not educated is what I was going to say. But, I mean, in terms of probabilities, maybe. 200 is really not that far away from us when you zoom out and look at like a longer term chart, like a 4-hour chart or a daily chart. 200 is not that far away. We could. But that's kind of the middle of the range here. We're kind of in the middle of the range since June. So we could go down to 200. We also could rebound since we're down so much on relatively good earnings, right? So like Marvell had pretty decent earnings. They're down 7% from it. I don't necessarily think we hit 200 personally, but again, I'm not an investment professional, and we're not far enough away from that level to where it's like impossible for that to happen. Of course, that could happen. We'll see. Yeah. I see oil. Oil's still fading a little bit here. It's still consistently dropping. Again, Hammock says it's part of the job to keep the public informed. Communicating Fed issues to the public is part of the job. Again, Hammock says it's time for the Fed to act with rate hikes, waiting for so some hawkish. Do not see financial restriction, or do not see restrictive financial conditions. Hammock says the Fed needs to raise interest rates now. Delaying will cause problems. They believe financial conditions are not restrictive. Predict inflation will hit 3% this year. It's time for the Fed to act now. Inflation will end around 3%. The U.S. is working on a replacement for the AI diffusion rule, according to the information. Nvidia is still rallying here, though, a little bit. I mean, it's up to 228. It's technically green on the day. Oil's still falling, though. Where's gold? Gold's popping up as well, but we honestly have a pretty large range, but just flat market action for gold. Task Force. Probably memory. Wire semis are down despite the Nvidia call. Finally an oil bounce. I mean, we got a little bounce, but until oil starts to break out of some of this range, you know, we've been in the same range since July for oil, back and forth. I mean, it's a big range. It's from 95 to 75, but really since mid-August, we've been around 83s to 80s to 85s. We hit 87s for a little while, but we're still in a pretty sideways range for oil. I'm watching it. But here's gold dip right now. Why has everybody all of a sudden coordinatedly started talking about Dolly Parton?
Because she was the greatest, that's why. Have you ever heard Coat of Many Colors?
I'm more disappointed about Tim Curry, to be honest. Rest in peace to Tim Curry. He passed away.
Thought he's been dead.
No, dude, he died yesterday. Or the day before. Rest in peace.
Oh, well, that does suck. I'm not more upset about him. I did enjoy him. Did you ever watch Clue with him?
Yeah.
As the butler?
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Home Alone, cute Clue. Obviously It, the OG It.
Yeah. Oh, that was like, I don't like those kinds of movies, but that was a great performance.
Yeah.
Scary Movie. Wait, wasn't he in Scary Movie? Yeah, he was in Scary Movie too.
Yeah. He's in Congo. I made my family watch Congo not that long ago. This was like a few years ago. My family still like criticizes me for this, but my family's like, "Hey, what's a good movie to watch with the family?" And I'm like, "I know, baby. Let's watch Congo. You know, great movie. It's got a talking gorilla in it. It's a great family time. A great family time." And so we put it on. My daughter was like, at the time, she must have been like 11. So this was years ago. And then I immediately, movie came on. I fell asleep in about 15 minutes. Bro, I woke up the next morning.
Always do.
Everybody was angry at me when they woke up the next morning. They were like, "John," they watched the whole movie though. They watched it all. They were like, "John, what did you make us watch last night?" Notice they didn't turn it off though. You know, they couldn't turn it off. They still watched it. Funny.
For Fern Gully.
I like Congo too. Gully. Yeah. Congo's great.
I think he was also the bellman in Home Alone 2.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Yeah,
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
You know I don't listen when you talk, John.
I know. I don't listen to most of the stuff you say either. I'm just looking at other things. And so at a certain point, I'm not trying to ignore you but I'm just kind of darting around in my attention. I'm trying.
Yeah, me too. Oh, dude. You forgot about the greatest movie of all time that he was in.
Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I never actually watched that. But that too, I guess. No, dude. The Three Musketeers.
Oh, yeah. That's a great movie, too. I liked it as a kid. The Three Musketeers?
Heck yeah.
Hammock is...
Oliver Platt.
No, for sure. No, great movie. Hammock is speaking right now. Go into all Fed meetings with an open mind. He said Hammock enters all Fed meetings with an open mind. He said interest rates are the Fed's most easily understood tool. They say they are the Fed's simplest tool to understand. Oh, mate, I'm sorry. I quoted the first one wrong because that wouldn't make sense. He said interest rates are the Fed's most easily understood tool. I thought he was going to say most easily misunderstood tool. He said they are the simplest tool to understand. Morgan Stanley says SpaceX planned $100 billion Louisiana launch complex could unlock major upside that investors are overlooking. Hammock says the economy is currently unrestricted. Let me look at the Fed's calendar. This is what I hate about the Fed, bro. Like y'all get y'all stuff together. I'm still waiting on the watch page for the Fed for the Jackson Hole Symposium. Hammock said the same stuff yesterday. You're gonna regret leaving Marvell. They are Paramount. No, I like Marvell as a company. Yeah. No, I think my daughter told me. About Peter Cullen. He was the voice of Transformers, Winnie the Pooh, Optimus Prime. Rest in peace. Been a rough week, guys. Rough week.
I wonder if he ever got confused while he was filming Transformers and went into like the Winnie the Pooh voice.
That'd be great. You know, the least threatening Transformer ever. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the NASDAQ here. Again, it's hard to trade this right now, guys. How do you trade this price action right here? You know, the answer is you don't. You don't trade this price action. Because markets are just waiting for this Jackson Hole Symposium speech. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern, no metrics are coming out. 10 a.m. we have the Jackson Hole Symposium. We also at 10 a.m. have the BLS jobs revision numbers, benchmark jobs revision numbers. Also at 10 a.m. we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Inflation Expectation Report. All at 10 a.m. So it's all kind of centralized, to be honest, for the next 45 minutes. We have Chicago PMI at 9:45, 15 minutes before all of this. But basically, everything's centralized for 10 a.m. today, to be honest. So nothing big. Data centers in space not be reality. Alright guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Am I in sub-only mode yet? I think I'll put it on a little bit later, but since I sold Marvell, I feel liquid and dangerous. I don't know how you trade this, guys. What are y'all trading today, chat? Let's get some participation in here. Lurkers, are you here today, guys? Are you here? Fed's Hammock did say the low interest rate era may have been unusual. Low interest rates may have been uncommon. Regarding the last 20 years when we had super low interest rates, basically. Except for the last 6 years. Interest rates went up about 5 years ago. Don't really know a lot about the balance sheet economy effects. So you don't know how quantitative easing or QT affects the economy. Lurkers, are you here? Lurker here reporting for duty. Present. Yes. Gold. Frito Lays, you about to get booted out of here, dude. You gotta be a 5-year-old. The Fed can't raise rates. The interest rate on the debt will balloon. You look like you want to vape bad. Honestly, I don't know what to do with my hands, bro. This is day 2. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Learn sign language.
Like, I don't know what to do with this hand, bro. I'm used to, like, you know, and what's even worse, I got a vape battery right here. There's no cartridge in it. Let me get that thing out of here. I'm gonna toss that thing. Good thing I didn't break anything. You know, just I kind of threw that vape battery hard. Get it away from me. I reject it today. I reject it today. Make sure there's no other ones over here that I need to throw away here. I don't know what to do with my hand here today. 13 minutes. 13 minutes. I know I'm trying though, the real. I'm trying. Lurkers, are you here today, guys? Are y'all here? Lurking from deep. I'm a lurker, I'm a worker. Yeah.
I could have gone somewhere with that, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Wait, Chip, are you talking about the Jack Hawk 5000 or 9000 or whatever it was?
Yeah, look, I'm a single lurker who lurks 3 jobs. I love my chat and I never stop. All right. Rest in peace to Dolly.
Wait. I was about to say lurking 9 to 5.
Yeah, lurking 9 to 5. That's right. McDonald's, we're here. What's up, Jacob? I'll bet you a month of no vape that MU pumps at the open today. You're good, John. We got your back. I need a fidget spinner. That might help, actually. All right, guys. 11 minutes here. NASDAQ's doing nothing. At least I could trade if the NASDAQ was moving. But it makes it even worse that I'm sitting here in my thoughts today. You know.
I'm telling you, dude. Learn American Sign Language. That way you can just sign the whole time you're streaming. You know.
I might get more views. I might get more views.
You might. Your hands will definitely be occupied.
Yeah. We got Chicago PMI at 945. I don't know if it's actually going to hold or do anything to markets. I think markets are purely waiting right now. Look at the NASDAQ today. I haven't seen the NASDAQ this choppy in a long time. Based off of just no movement today. Look, like, how do you trade this right here? I mean, we got this little move up, but then we retraced all the way back down here. I think it's incredibly difficult to trade. Maybe we'll get some volatility ahead of Jackson Hole at the opening bell. We have about 5 minutes until the market on open report goes live. About 5 minutes here. Eat sunflower seeds. I love a good sunflower seed too. My whole family hates me because
why?
Every time we go on a road trip, I'm like powering through sunflower seeds.
I love them. I used to eat the shell and everything because that's where all the flavor is.
I don't eat the shell, dude. That's for crazy people, bro. What are you talking about? You eat the shell?
Not anymore, but
it can't be good for you. It can't be good for you.
Probably not, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been too bad, that kind of thing. I mean, my grandpa, who lived to be 89, died just recently. He ate roasted peanuts whole, like shell and all, his whole life. Never hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I've never done it, but yeah, also, occasionally.
You like ranch or barbecue better?
I don't like ranch, period.
Oh,
I like barbecue. Ranch is gross. It's too tangy. I'm not a big tang.
You're gross.
You know? I don't like too much tang in my foods. I don't like mayo. I don't like mustard. I don't like ranch. I like some ketchup though. I'll take that. But
so you're very limited condiment wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does that mean you don't like the drink tang either?
Oh, I love tang the drink. You know.
Okay.
Orange tang is fine.
Check.
Yeah. Oh, I love Chinese food.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys, we got 4 minutes left. We're starting to test the bottom of this really short-term range that we've been in for the last 40 minutes. We just broke the bottom, so maybe we'll get some volatility at the opening bell. I'm hoping we do. It's been pretty light news-wise ahead of this. Again, market's kind of on hold right now. Fed rate expectations on hold. Yields are kind of on hold today. I think they moved up slightly on the day, but it's hard to tell. We can look at like TLT to see what yields have done. NVIDIA, again, pretty close to flat on the day also here. Here's long-term bond prices, so yields are probably up a little bit on the day. At least long-term bond yields are up. So these inverse each other, right? So if bond prices are down, yields are up. Again, we can look at gold. Gold's been moving some. It's at 46.50s here. It's right around the VWAP 200 exponential previous closing price. And so again, we got 2 minutes or 3 minutes until the market on open data. We'll see if that moves anything here. But
yes, we will.
Yeah. I like A1.
You like what?
I like A1 sauce.
I don't. First off, if I'm gonna dip my steak in anything, it's gonna be tiger sauce, which is awesome. Second, I firmly believe that if you have a good quality steak and a couple of good quality seasonings, you don't need steak sauce.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite, bro. Everybody gets mad at me. Like
I don't get mad.
Carol does. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Charting with Dean. I appreciate the subscribe, my friend. Thank you, brother. Y'all hit the subscribe button. But no, it was Carol and I's anniversary not that long ago, and we bought like a really nice Wagyu. We bought way too much of it. I showed a picture to Britt. It was way too big of a steak. It was way too expensive also. But like at the same time, I would have eaten A1 sauce on that steak if they would have let me. If it wasn't so controversial to ask for steak sauce at really nice steakhouses, I would have had A1 on that thing too. So
I don't get mad if somebody likes steak sauce on their steak or whatever. The way I feel about it, like if I make a steak for somebody, as long as they try it first without anything, then I don't care what they do. You know?
yeah, yeah. Giovanni, get your bad peer pressure and mindset out of here, dude. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Also, try tiger sauce, John. It's more of a sweet heat, heavier on the heat than the sweet.
All right,
just try it.
And I'm gonna allow Britt to talk about food today because there's nothing going on in markets right now. I mean,
I'm not gonna stay on it.
No, you're good.
Since it was brought up.
Yeah. All right, we got 1 minute until the market on open data. But again, most markets are basically flat today. Oil is starting to fall down a little bit, so oil is actually a little down on the day heading into the weekend. Yeah. No, we're not muted, Matt. We're here. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, we're here. All right, good. You're a disgrace of a Texan? I got news for you, brother. I'm going to tell you this, all right? I am not a Texan, sir. Look at my shirt right now, bro. Look at my shirt right here, dude. I hate to break this to you, but I am not a Texan, my friend. I like Texas, but, but I'm not a Texan.
I agree. I like a lot of things Texas has and does,
Yeah.
But, for one thing, I can't afford to live there. For another thing, I'm LSU and Louisiana homegrown.
Yeah. Judge me for the shirt. Yeah. Hey, that's all right. All right, guys. Look, we're at 77.40s right now in the S&P. Gold again moving up. Here's the market on open data. Let's watch the NASDAQ, and we're starting to move a little bit on gold ahead of this. Here's the NASDAQ. Let's see the market on open data. There's the movement from it. Went right down to the previous close. The previous closing price, the 200 exponential and the volume weighted average price here. Nvidia's up. You talking about a po' boy, Jay? That's probably what you're talking about.
Where, what?
All right, so okay. Look, NASDAQ is actually dropping here on the market on open data. So there's the market on open data. The NASDAQ got some volume, and it's starting to flush down some after this market on open data. The market opens up in 4 minutes here, chat. 4 minutes. Yeah, no more Mr. Mice Guy.
Mr. Mice Guy.
Did I say Mr. Mice Guy? Did I?
I don't know. Maybe you did. I was just teasing you.
I try to speak too quickly sometimes. I told my son he needed to go fee the dogs. My whole family made fun of me. I was trying to,
I can see him just pointing and laughing at you while you cry.
Maddie definitely made fun of me, bro. Yeah. Look, the NASDAQ is at 620s right now, so we are red. Nvidia pulled all the way back to the previous closing price. The NASDAQ is starting to break down after the market on open data. Gold is actually pushing up a little bit. Oil is still breaking down some. But we're getting some movement here. I'm waiting for the opening bell in 3 minutes, so. This is a fake flush. Look at that red. We're getting something here. Louisiana got the new SpaceX. I saw that. All right, so let's see if we actually get some momentum here at the opening bell. Opening bell's in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. What's up, Tariq? Will we have a bullish or bearish open? We had the data center question. Let's do another question here. Red or green open? Red, green. And then I'm gonna give another option that's just gonna say muted. Red or green open, guys? What do you guys think? Looks like a grab. We're gonna be streaming the Kevin Warsh speech live here, Tracy. So I got you. We're going to be streaming the whole thing live, the whole keynote. We're also going to cover the BLS benchmark revision. I'll probably put the BLS numbers in chat and talk about them in the chat. As long as Kevin Warsh starts on time, we're not going to have time to talk about the BLS benchmark revision today outside of the chat because Warsh is going to be speaking. The benchmark revision, Michigan data, and Kevin Warsh all scheduled for 30 minutes from now, basically. So it's going to be hard to cover all of it. It depends on how early. If Kevin Warsh is a little late in his speaking, look at NVIDIA here, though, chat. Nvidia falling down some on some volume here. Better volume than we have earlier. We had the National Iranian Oil Company say we were exploring for new resources around the Takte gas field in southern Fars province following its discovery. We expect to discover around 5 billion barrels of oil and 8 trillion cubic feet of gas using existing drilling rigs, according to Tasnim.
That's it.
I mean, give me 30 trillion and send it back. But Nvidia's starting to pull back here. We're at 227s. So Nvidia is what's dragging the Nasdaq down short term here. All right, we got a minute and a half until the opening bell now. But look at Nvidia dip. Went back red on the day.
Also,
Texas got the Terrafab.
Where'd you see what you just read? I just wanted to read a little more about it. Just send it to me.
Okay. About Iran
Yeah.
gas field? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Opening bell in 40 seconds. Or now about 40 seconds. I said 40 seconds a little bit earlier.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get. Yeah, Warsh is supposed to speak again 10 a.m. "30 seconds until the opening bell.
I'm gonna say green when open.
Again, I did a poll. 54% think red open, 34% think green, 11% think we got a muted open. I gotta go with muted if I had to vote on one. Here's 15 seconds. Let's see what happens here. But I gotta go with muted at the opening bell here. All right, here's the opening bell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what the Nasdaq does. Nvidia wiggling a little bit here. Here's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq pushing down some originally at the opening bell. We're at 29.6s. All right, we're down at 29.600s. So far we got a little red, but again, I'm going to go with a muted open right now. Microsoft actually is pumping up just now as we speak here at the opening bell. Look at Microsoft up to 508s. So Microsoft moving up a little bit. We got Chicago PMI in a little bit. Microsoft at 507s. Nasdaq starting to go up a little bit also here though. Can't tell if this is Christmas music or not. I don't know where it's coming from. Jolly. The word jolly was in the name, so I think it was Christmas music. All right, guys. NASDAQ coming down 29.600s here. I got to wait to trade at least a couple minutes, but we are seeing some red at the opening bell.
I don't think it was Christmas music. I think it was that song, Have a Holly Jolly Boxing Day. You know?
Yeah, that's right. You know, Halloween. In my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, so the NASDAQ is still breaking down, though, here. Look at the NASDAQ fall. This looks like it's mostly memory-driven, though. SanDisk and MU are falling down since the opening bell. Apple is up. Microsoft just gave back all the gains it made just now. Meta's actually pushing up, though, but the NASDAQ is actually starting to dump down here. Not really NVIDIA. It's strange, what's driving the NASDAQ down here? Memory. MU's testing 914s, but it's not down that much. Let me check news. I don't see anything. PayPal shares are down. Dow is down.
And I don't see anything. Let's see.
Yeah, out of most of the Mag 7, I mean, a lot of them are green, which is why I'm wondering why the NASDAQ is dropping here. Netflix dipping a little bit, but it's almost the 81s. Meta's popping up more. It's at 577s. Google's up since the opening bell. Apple's up since the opening bell. MU and SanDisk are both down slightly, but not that much here. SK Hynix as well. So what's dropping the NASDAQ? Walmart's down. Target's down. Maybe retail. What about Marvell? Marvell's down since the opening bell. It's down to 220. Salesforce is up though. CrowdStrike is down. Yeah, so again, guys, remember, we got Kevin Warsh speaking live at 10 a.m. today. Again, NASDAQ still dipping here. We're at 577s, 578s. Again, MU down to 909. So memory is still falling down here. So we do have some memory drops. We are 3 minutes into the day. Jobs revisions drop at 10 a.m. according to the BLS, right? So we do have job revision, what's called the benchmark revision data, going live at 10 a.m. today, right around the same time Kevin Warsh speaks. So alright, guys, so we're still dipping some. I guess I'm bearish right now, but I'm also worried that we're just going to have chop. In 10 minutes, we have Chicago PMI. I mean, here's the NASDAQ here. I guess I could short this. I guess I will. I'll try to short some size. We're trying to take larger size. It's very close to the opening bell. It's been a light trading day. We're going to get up to maybe 10 contracts here. We're trying to take larger size. I just don't want a full-on red to green move, though. All right, there we go. We cut some of it here, but I want to give it some more. I'll add back to it. There we go. There we go. There we go. I might add to a bounce here, though. Take some larger size into this. Get up to 6 to 8 contracts here. There we go. If the downward pressure continues. We could also have choppiness, though, but we've taken a bunch of profits here. Look, there's 8 contracts. See if we get pushed back down is what I'm looking on. There we go. All right, we're going to take some off. Just in case it doesn't hold. I think you could easily bet on chop today, though, if there's an easier path here. Memory names are starting to bounce back, so I'll probably just cut this. We made money and then lost some money here. But we are going to hit the VWAP up there. Maybe that'll reject us here. Just tap the VWAP. MU starting to reverse, though, and head back up here or some, though. Look at MU. So memory names maybe doing a red to green move. Maybe the NASDAQ's going to go green today ahead of Kevin Warsh in the BLS benchmark revision. The question is, if we revise jobs down, all right, do markets want higher or lower job data? You could argue the market wants lower job data, I think, to be honest, right now. I think you could argue the market wants lower jobs, not higher jobs. That lower jobs are more dovish, and if the Fed wants cuts, or if market has a bias towards cuts and stimulation, you know, that's a win. See if MU holds at the 200 EMA here, though. All right, so we just got pushed all the way back down here. And I'm just kind of looking at choppiness today. And so maybe we go back down here. How much time until Chicago PMI? Okay, we got about 7 minutes. I did just short this. I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer, I guess. But I am worried about choppiness. We got rejected right at the previous closing price. A lot of it's gonna depend on memory names here, though. And how much time do we have left until this data release? Yeah, the problem, I'm gonna, like, we're still green in this, but I'm gonna get out. The problem I see right now is memory names are starting to rebound back up. So we made money in that last one. But we got out before. I don't want to see memory names like MU and SanDisk drag the NASDAQ up. Yeah, because we are doing like a red to green move. Market wants a K-shaped recovery. Indecisiveness. Yeah, market's just kind of sideways. Market doesn't know what to do. You know? Like, I'm tempted to short when we get up there and, like, take counter trends today. But again, the question is, does the BLS revision help or hurt markets this morning? That's the real question here. It's like, does the BLS revision help or hurt markets? You might say, hey, you think the jobs are going to get revised to be weaker. If they do, that's kind of a dovish thing, right? And you could argue easily that, hey, markets might want that. They might celebrate that. So, I don't know. I mean, the last time we got big revisions by the BLS, maybe they'll correct it and give us less revisions now. But I am tempted to take counter trends today in markets. We're 10 minutes into the open. Memory names have popped, though. Look at SanDisk. Look at MU. That's kind of the only question mark. Like, if some of these memory names continue to fill the gap to the upside here, markets might continue to rally. There's the NASDAQ popping up. Okay. Look at the NASDAQ, though. NASDAQ just rallied big here. Still waiting for Kevin Warsh to start speaking here. To start speaking. Yeah, NASDAQ just flying higher now. Wow. Is this news related, or is this just NASDAQ rallying with memory names? A big move up. Yeah, memories popping up. Long or short this, chat? What do you guys think? Let's watch 29,700s here. We do have a level right there. Long. Trend is your friend. Yeah. I usually like trading trends, but again, I think I had so much unknown today at Jackson Hole and the BLS data that maybe we don't trend as easily and maybe we go sideways. And so that's the only reason I might have considered attacking the top of the range. I think today it makes more sense than it normally would. Normally I try to go with the trend, but all you can do is make a bet. You know. Alright. We are about 12 minutes into the day. NASDAQ did hit 29,700s right here. I'm watching 650s. Maybe I'll buy a pullback, but we'd have to hit 650s or lower. NASDAQ still rallying though here. What will happen to gold if Fed share takes a hawkish stance? Gold will probably, a hawkish stance, gold will probably go down. if Warsh takes a hawkish stance. It'll probably go down. I mean, it might be baked into a hawkish dynamic already, though, just based off of everything going on today. But I think gold will probably go down. We don't know for sure, though, but probably. Again, hawkish or dovish. Hawkish or dovish Warsh today. I almost said pow. Hawkish or dovish Warsh. It said 15 minutes, 17 minutes. I'm still waiting for the Kansas City Fed to update their feed. I'm looking at it. We're going to stream it live. So, we just got to wait for it now. They haven't really started their phase of it yet. But again, we also have Chicago PMI going live today in about a minute. About 1 minute. Alright, so memory names are pulling back. But let's see what Chicago PMI says in 30 seconds. Chicago PMI expected at 57.9. I might buy 650, but also I'm gonna trade a little bit quieter today. Hawkish or dovish poll, please. I mean, what do you guys think? Hawk or dove? Hawkish. Let's do a poll. Hawkish, dovish. Hawk, dove, hawkish, neutral. You think they're going to hike rates or keep the same? I mean, Rand, are you talking about next meeting? Today's no rate decision. It's Jackson Hole Symposium. Neutral, hawk. I think it's hawkish. Neutral, hawkish, bruv. Neutral to hawkish. Gold up or down? And prove you're not a bot, San. Actually, we'll put it in sub-only mode to make sure. Alright. There you go. Alright, the Nasdaq's starting to dip here. I'm tempted to buy 250s, but we'll give it a chance. And we hit 260s. We got in a little here. I'll probably just scalp this and get out and try to slowly figure it out on the day. I'm down on the day, though, today so far. MU starting to rebound, though. So let's see if that holds. Chicago PMI did just show up. I don't think it really moved anything. Showed up weaker than expected, though, at 47.1. The Nasdaq hasn't really moved that much on this data, though. 47.1 versus 57.9 expected. So much weaker Chicago PMI than expected here today. Again, MU is back up to 930s. The Nasdaq didn't really react much to this, though, to be honest. Again, Chicago PMI is not that big of a catalyst here. Kimmy K3 says dump it. Dovish. Yeah, Chicago PMI weaker than expected. 47.1 versus 57.9 expected. So much weaker than expected for Chicago PMI. Again, Chicago PMI gauges manufacturing around the Chicago area. But it's not really super influential, I think. Markets haven't really reacted to it. I think markets are essentially just waiting on the Jackson Hole Symposium. All right, guys, 13 minutes left. Are you trading? I'll trade a little bit probably, but you got to just be careful. You don't know what Warsh is going to say. I'll do one more poll here regarding Warsh. I'll do one more poll. Will Warsh have a hawkish or dovish tone today? Hawk or dove, guys? Gold ripping. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I describe it as ripping per se, but it's moving up. It's at 46.60s ahead of this report. We've been in a pretty sideways range most of the morning here. All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. About 10 minutes. Poltron. Bodish tone. Gold. 50% say Dove, 50% say Hawk. Revised weaker jobs as well as 5 trillion buyback. I might trade it, Philly. I don't know, dude. Claude says neutral. Data dependent. Yeah, I mean, I could ask Claude right now to see what he thinks we're going to say. Again, we're waiting for this. In 10 minutes, we got the BLS revision. We also have the Jackson Hole Symposium. Again, the Jackson Hole Symposium, 10 a.m. I'll tell you guys when they start. All right, so look at the NASDAQ start to dip real quick here, though. Let's watch it. Again, markets are still waiting here for Kevin Warsh and the BLS benchmark revision. I see U.S. oil firms are close to striking a $1 billion investment deal in Venezuela. That was a kind of big swing quickly here, though. All right, here we go. Again, 50-50 on the poll. If Warsh disappoints, the president's going to rename it American Hole. Again, Marvell earnings strong but drop. We have 9 minutes left, chat. 9 minutes left. Again, I will put this data up on screen. Bear with me here while I build this. We're getting the screen ready here. Again, they haven't really started speaking yet, though. But bear with me. Yeah, so the full prepared remarks are released at 10 a.m. exactly when the speech begins on the website. We'll review this. The live speech delivery is typically 30 to 45 minutes. There's no Q&A at Jackson Hole, though. But we'll take a look at what the remarks say. It's generally 10 to 20 pages, so we'll summarize it. And we'll also give you guys a link to where you can watch it on. But again, we do have remarks by the chairman. NASDAQ's still dipping down a little bit, but hold on. Bear with me here. I'm going to put myself on screen right now as we wait for this. Remember, we do have the BLS revision. 10 o'clock. All right. We have the BLS revision at 10. Speak here. But again, we're gonna put this up on screen so you guys can see it. And the BLS revision might be interesting also here. Just bear with me, chat. There we go. That's pretty good. We'll put the NASDAQ chart up here. We'll get another chart up on the bottom. Sorry, I'm trying to build the chart so we can actually see them during this and how they move from the speech. Here's the NASDAQ. All right, this should be pretty good. Make sure we get the volume right here as well. We start in 7 minutes. CrowdStrike's still dumping down. Move
All right,
this.
sorry about that. What I missed?
No, you're good. All right, speech is coming. All right, let's see. Put the timer up like this. There we go. All right, so we got the screen up. Sorry, guys. I wanted to prep this so you guys could actually see the speech here. So again, speech is about to start in 5 minutes. Hey, later, Bam Bam. Have a good day. Brace yourselves. QuantumScape. S&P going down. U.S. bond market needs support. Yeah, we're going to make sure the volume is good, though. Again, the BLS revision's the interesting thing here, though. That drops right at 10 a.m. Look at the NASDAQ jump. Again, Kevin Warsh is supposed to speak pretty soon. I can reduce this a little bit, make this a little bit better. Trying to get the NASDAQ on the chart here, by the way, so just bear with me. We can actually watch the NASDAQ move some here on this. Right there. All right, guys, here we go. 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Let me know if you're hawkish or dovish.
Honestly, I don't know how to feel. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to publish the remarks here, so we'll figure it out. But again, we got 4.5 minutes. Markets, we'll see how markets digest this, to be honest. All right, here we go. 4 minutes. Are we in sub-only mode? Yeah, we are. All right, cool. Hold pattern, swan-like. John, I need you to donate 1 cent to my portfolio. Hey, bro, we're trying. Dude, we're trying. I might give you 2 cents, dude. We'll see, you know.
Huh?
All right, there we go. We got the NASDAQ here on the right. Again, the BLS benchmark revision is relevant. And so, again, the question is, do markets want stronger or weaker jobs? I don't know here, honestly. I think maybe they want weaker jobs, to be honest. We'll see, though. But maybe they want stronger jobs? I really don't know. Stronger or weaker jobs today for the benchmark revision. Here we go. We got 3.5 minutes. Last time they revised jobs down 900,000. And considering they haven't really started this yet, we'll wait. Gold is already flying. This can make SanDisk fly. Swan-like. Gold is already flying. Someone's remind me, please. If it's dovish, it means it's good. Or hey, thank you for the donation, Random Talks. We appreciate it. Wish you luck, mate. We all need green. Hey, we do. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, Snark. Appreciate it. Speech is coming, and so am I. Oh, my God. Brace yourselves. Yeah, I didn't mean to read that one. Sorry, dude. Yeah, my bad, guys. NASDAQ's popping up, though. Memory names are still doing pretty strong. Okay, here we go.
Economic Symposium. This year's symposium will focus on financial innovation and the implications of rapid developments in digital currencies, central bank digital currencies, financial technology for payments, monetary policy, and the international financial system. Jackson Hole, part of the American frontier and Wild West of the 19th century, is an ideal setting to discuss this new frontier of financial innovation. The American Wild West was defined by a gap. The frontier expanded faster and less predictably than governance could follow. Settlers staked claims, prospectors chased gold, and enterprising figures built fortunes in territory the law had not yet reached. Some struck it rich, many were ruined, And for a number of years, the frontier operated largely based on self-enforcement within local jurisdictions. Recent financial innovation shows many of the same features, including the diversity of practices across countries. Stablecoins, decentralized finance, AI-driven trading, and the rapid growth of private credit represent a genuine frontier, territory expanding faster than the regulatory apparatus. In some areas, we're beginning to see the first railroads and telegraphs, the Genius Act stablecoin framework, the BIS work on Project Agora, and the ECB's rollout of the digital euro. But the gaps in our understanding about the implications and what comes next are even larger than the blank spaces in the early settlers' maps. So we have much to discuss over the next 2 days. What are the implications of these frontier innovations? How should policy navigate the tension between innovation and oversight, between opportunity and risk?
All right,
What
guys,
are the
45
trade-offs
seconds
and the different approaches
until the
being
BLS
adopted by
revision data goes live. 45
The
seconds.
stakes are huge. As the early settlers learned, some frontier experiments ended badly, while others built the prosperity we see in places like Jackson Hole today.
All right, guys,
So to get us
BLS revision,
started,
30
I am
seconds.
delighted to welcome Kevin Warsh, Chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve Board, to provide opening remarks. I've known Kevin for about 25 years when we initially worked together in the White House. Kevin, even during those meetings, many years ago, you were willing to push frontier thinking. And we look forward to hearing your thoughts on the latest developments
10
in
seconds.
financial innovation and central banking. Kevin, coming up to the stage.
All right, here's the data right now. So the BLS revision,
Good morning, Kristen. Thank you for that super
consumer
kind
sentiment
introduction.
stronger than expected.
It was 25 years ago that we were colleagues. It's an honor to share the stage with you. It's great to be back here in the Valley again. See so many familiar faces from academia, from my last tour of service, and from my first 100 days, which is just this weekend. I've been looking forward to this weekend. And before I go further, I want to thank Jeff Schmidt and his team for the incredible hospitality. Everybody here is in debt to you and to your colleagues here at the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. Jeff, our thanks to you and your team. Now, he and the other planners here have some recreation options lined up for later today. I'd advise you to be very careful with your choices. As I learned years ago, you can take two different kinds of hikes on the trails around Jackson. I can sum up my hikes with former Vice Chairman Don Cohn with two words: I survived. These steely marathon death marches revealed a sign of Don that I was not ready for. But there's another kind of hike. This one was with former Chairman Ben Bernanke, another dear old colleague. With Ben, it was a much more leisurely pace, an easy stroll along the wandering trails of the Rockefeller Preserve. So before setting out today, my recommendation is do a wellness check. Ask yourself, is this a Cohn day or a Bernanke day? The best thing about this gathering is that it helps us all get out here to the mountains and clear our minds and think straight about our world and our time. For me, it feels like the right place and the right audience for a real engagement with the ideas that matter most. Innovation, as Kristen mentioned, is the conference theme. And I believe the public and the markets understand that innovations in the conduct of Fed policy will help deliver price stability alongside full employment. So here's a quick overview of what I'll cover in my remarks this morning. You can call it an outline, you can call it a trail map, but please just don't call it forward guidance. First, I'll touch on a few of the longer-term questions we're asking at the Fed about the latest general-purpose technology, AI, and where it might take the economy. Then I'll reflect a bit on the practice of forward guidance and the interaction between the central bank and financial markets. Next, I'll present some of the key principles that I believe should guide the conduct of monetary policy. And finally, I'll give you my assessment of what's happening in the economy. So first, I think we should try to prepare a bit for future policy conjunctures. With the unchanging picture of the Tetons as our backdrop, We are here to survey an economic landscape that is anything but static. It wasn't so long ago, including in rooms like this, in the run-up to the crisis of 2008 and over the decade that followed, when economists and policymakers were speaking of secular stagnation, speaking of a global savings glut. It was a widely held view that an excess of capital would sit on the sidelines for a very long, long time because there just wouldn't be enough compelling investment opportunities. All the good stuff, you'll recall, had been invented, so growth would be low and slow. Well, times sure have changed. We've come to a hinge point in history, to borrow a phrase, a framing from my former mentor, George Shultz. To cite the clearest example, progress in AI, the 80-year-old name for the newest technology, has been faster even than its evangelists predicted just a couple of years ago. The potential for substantially higher growth is on the rise. Ever-expanding pools of capital pouring into AI-related infrastructure of all sorts. A kind of super Moore's law seems to be playing out. Scaling laws, too, are changing both the method and speed of innovation. Capital and labor have combined to create large language models at the heart of AI. Users buy tokens to gain access to these models. Reports put annualized token sales for the two leading labs alone at more than $100 billion, an increase of 500% from just 12 months ago. We at the Fed, we watch all this attentively. We recognize that AI is a new variable, potentially a new factor of production that will have consequences both for the economy and for the conduct of monetary policy. It opens up some major lines of inquiry. Will the application of AI cause a significant sustained rise in productivity across the economy? If so, when? Will token usage be complementary or competitive to labor? Will the next generation of AI models demand even greater capital intensity too? Or will the models themselves help devise a capital-light solution? Among the other yet unknowns is the resulting market structure. Who gets to make the money? It's not obvious where the returns on capital will land or on what time scale. Early on, how much of the surplus goes to owners of scarce assets, the AI labs or chip makers or energy producers or cloud providers? Over time, how much of that value accrues to businesses and consumers? And importantly, what are the implications for workers and for the employment side of the Fed's mandate? Likewise, we don't yet know the equilibrium price of the tokens that give access to these models. Might there be a heterogeneity of tokens, such that growing sums will be paid for the access to the best models, those at the frontier? Will token prices for older models fall to the level of their marginal cost? Well, we'll be thinking through these matters with the help of a task force on productivity and jobs. My early check-ins with the leaders of that task force and the rest have been very encouraging. To be clear, though, their recommendations will come later and have no bearing on decisions we make in the current policy conjuncture. But I believe that for future policy challenges, this intellectual investment today will leave us much better prepared for tomorrow. Next, let me say a word about forward guidance and its substitutes. As our task forces go about their work, as you might know, I'm not waiting to introduce innovations at the Fed to help make us fit for purpose. To highlight one example, I've set out to change the form and function of the Fed chairman's so-called forward guidance. You might know about my longtime discomfort with early pronouncements of future policy decisions. I much prefer another path, and now will make the case for it. Transparency in communications about future policy decisions is not an end unto itself. Communications must be in service to the Fed's paramount responsibility. And what is that? That's getting policy right. Forward guidance as a regular practice was adopted by my colleagues and me during the global financial crisis. It was essential at the time, and we introduced it with much fanfare. But as with other legacies of crises past, I believe the practice has outstayed its welcome. In normal times, the role of forward guidance should be limited and circumscribed. Otherwise, it risks creating ambiguity in the name of clarity. Oversharing policy deliberations and overcommitting to future decisions can lead markets, businesses, and households astray. And I believe when policymakers make quasi-commitments on interest rates throughout the cycle, we inhibit our own freedom to make the right calls when it's time to decide. To get policy right, we also need to get the relationship right between the central bank and financial markets. The Fed needs clear market signals, as unfiltered as possible, from market internals, from the level and change in asset prices across sectors, the prices and trading volumes of Treasury securities, the foreign exchange value of the dollar, the cost and availability of credit, a broad set of commodity prices. These and other indicators should inform the Fed's near-term outlook on economic activity and inflation throughout the business cycle. They should also reveal the state of broader financial conditions and the risks and uncertainties of the financial cycle. At the same time, market participants themselves should be tracking real information about the real economy. They should draw their own conclusions, form their own expectations on things like output and employment and inflation, and they too should stay sharply attuned to risks. In my view, the Fed should be humble and never naive. The Fed plays an essential role in the economy and markets. Our tools are powerful. We determine the path of short-term interest rates, and market participants will always try to anticipate what we will do next. But we should not indulge a regime in which market participants are looking primarily to the Fed for their next trade. The economic literature has long described the distorting effects, what it called the Hall of Mirrors problem. If markets rely materially on the Fed's guidance, and the Fed relies on market prices, we're more likely to be blinded to new developments, more likely to be caught unprepared, and more likely to commit errors in policymaking. Now, perversely, market participants are unlikely to bear the biggest costs of the Hall of Mirrors problem. The most serious harm is likely to befall those without any financial assets. If the Fed gets inflation wrong and judges the economy wrong, who gets the worst of it? Not the financial high flyers. Hardworking Americans are the ones left to deal with inflation that's too high or jobs that suddenly appear less secure. So, if forward guidance is ill-suited to normal times, how about the new Fed chief commits at a meeting just like this to some explicit reaction function? Surely he could tell us his interest rate path if, say, the data were to come in hot or cold. Well, I wish our understanding of the economy were so precise as to provide a mechanical, tried and true answer, that some simple function, like a Taylor rule, could be rigorously relied upon. But our knowledge just does not extend that far, at least not yet. And other factors most relevant to the proper conduct of monetary policy, they change over time. Providing forecasts to illustrate the Fed's reaction function works better in theory than in practice, better in the lab than in the field. I am not alone in noticing that forward guidance in 2021, to cite just one example, might well have slowed the policy response to high inflation. In my term as chairman, my colleagues and I will endeavor to construct more reliable models, more robust rules. And we'll do this knowing that accuracy in forecasting is still just an aspiration. With so much changing so fast in our geopolitics, global supply chains, technology, it's wise to be modest about what we can and cannot know as we sit here today. In the same spirit, we should receive the full range of ideas on matters that may inform the Fed's monetary policy discussions. If the aim is optimal decision-making, and it should be, we should not crowd out views on the economy. How then to chart a better path to policy? In the balance of my remarks, I will share with you some key principles that guide my thinking on the appropriate conduct of monetary policy, and then I'll offer my promised assessment of the economy. So let's turn first to principles. First, I've noticed in this line of work, yesterday's news has a way of getting mistaken for what's happening right now. The challenge is to know the difference. In other words, we must interrogate reality. Make sure we're not setting forward-looking policy based on stale or inaccurate data. Nor should we rely on isolated data points. Trends matter most. The Fed's a decision-making agency. We make choices amid uncertainty, and the data upon which we draw must be relevant, contemporaneous, accurate, and as actionable as possible. Second principle. The Fed's actions are intended to ensure that the aggregate demand side of the economy is broadly consistent with aggregate supply. However, all we observe directly is activity. We never see and can only infer what's really happening on the supply side. Hence, evaluating the current and expected balance between aggregate supply and aggregate demand is imprecise. Third principle. There should be no misunderstanding. The Fed's price stability objective of 2%, as measured by the PCE price index, is a firm, fixed target. Let me be equally clear about another aspect of this objective. Price stability is not self-executing, nor is inflation necessarily mean reverting. It's the Fed's job to deliver stable prices, no excuses. Fourth principle. The Fed also bears responsibility for maximum employment. Achieving both sides of our mandate over the medium term is not an either-or proposition. I do not believe the Fed's dual mandate works at cross purposes. After all, high inflation itself is very harmful to economic prosperity. Fifth principle. Short-term interest rates are the predominant tool to achieve the dual mandate. Unconventional policies to spur economic activity may suit genuine crises, of which we all have much experience, but they should otherwise be used sparingly, if at all. Sixth, money matters. I know it's not fashionable these days, but my view is that money has something important to do with monetary policy. We should pay attention to money created by the central bank and money that comes from the banking and financial system. It's true that financial innovations, the subject of this conference, and other factors alter the mechanics that link the monetary base, the velocity of money, and the broader economy. But that is scarcely a reason to ignore the ultimate effects of money on financial conditions and prices. Finally, a quieter Fed, a more purposeful Fed in its communications, is better able to meet its objectives. And we can be held accountable for delivering on our remit, the only true test of our credibility. To borrow a line from General Chuck Yeager, at the moment of truth, there are either reasons or results. So having heard a little bit about AI and general purpose technologies, having heard a little bit about the next policy conjuncture, a little bit on principles, let's turn to the economy today. Given those principles, how do I read the economy? What's really going on outside the window? It's a little ironic, there are no windows in this room, but they're big ones at the Federal Reserve. And we've been using those in my first 100 days, and I expect we're going to continue to use those in the period right ahead of us. Now, you may have read in the July minutes the unanimous view of the FOMC. Labor markets were stable, output solid, but inflation remained too high. A good majority of my colleagues and I thought the wiser course was to await new information in the intermeeting period, especially given possible developments in supply chains, investment flows, and geopolitics, before deciding whether a change in interest rate policy was advisable. And we expressed our joint readiness to act as circumstances require. For my part today, as we sit here, I'm impressed by the overall performance of the economy, which appears to have strengthened. One indicator of strength is how well an economy holds up under stress, how well it holds up under shocks. On that score, both Main Street and Wall Street have been remarkably resilient. Several other observations. Business CapEx is rising rapidly. The 4-quarter change in investment in equipment and intangibles has been around 9%, its highest growth rate since 2021. And more than half of the CapEx growth can likely be ascribed to the build-out related to AI. What about profits? For the firms in the S&P, profits have grown more than 20% over the past year alone. Profit margins are quite elevated relative to history. Overall equity and market volatility, quite low. We're staying keenly focused on market internals, watching performance across sectors. Expectations for both growth in CapEx and corporate earnings are running quite high. I continue to watch the change in the growth rates, the second derivative. The follow-on effects on asset prices, business confidence, consumer incomes and spending are equally important to gauge. Credit spreads on corporate bonds and leveraged loans are near the low end of their historical averages. And issue volumes this year, quite strong. Looking beyond fixed income markets to the banking business. In the July so-called SLOOS survey, banks tell us that standards for C&I loans are on the easier end of their historical ranges. That helps explain their growth that we've seen this year in these loans. In my view, credit and loan markets are showing few signs of policy restraint. Now, certain sectors, like housing and agriculture, are showing strains. But on balance, I would be hard-pressed to describe broad financial conditions as restrictive. Real consumer spending has been healthy despite these shocks, increasing more than 2% over the past 4 quarters. If you combine consumption with the brisk investment we talked about earlier, private domestic financial purchases have also risen. These purchases have increased at a pace of nearly 3% or so far this year. That's a measure that typically carries more signal than GDP. The trend here too, positive. So on the employment side of the Fed's dual mandate, our country's doing well. Labor markets are quite stable. The jobless rate at 4.1% remains low by historical standards and hasn't changed much in a couple of years. Unemployment claims on a 4-week moving average, an empirically robust real-time indicator, are near their lowest level in decades. In my view, the relatively low turnover in today's labor market is partly a result of the significant rematching between employers and employees that happened in the post-pandemic environment. But when labor supply is barely growing, monthly job gains are naturally going to run low. There are always areas of concerns in the labor market. For example, among recent graduates. In general, though, people who want to work, by and large, are holding or finding jobs. They may well be concerned about future labor disruptions, but as of now, I believe the labor markets are broadly consistent with full employment. But on the price stability side of our mandate, the numbers are more concerning. The Fed's preferred measure of inflation, the one I talked about earlier, the 12-month change in the PC price index stands at 3.7%, with the 6-month change a little above 4. The comparable measures from the CPI index are also elevated, as are core measures both of PCE and CPI inflation. None of these measures are perfect, but they all tell a similar story. Inflation is running above our 2% target. So the Fed's predominant focus right now should be on prices. So what's our job? The job for policymakers is to capture underlying trend inflation. Easier said than done. We want to gauge whether underlying inflation is rising, falling, or seems to be stuck in place. We also want to understand not just the direction of travel, but the speed. Each of these broad inflation measures have fallen significantly from their highs of a few years ago, but progress over the last couple of years has been more modest. And while this summer's PCE and CPI readings were better than expected, they do not tell me that underlying trends have meaningfully improved. The data also show moderate wage growth, but in my view, in tracking underlying inflation, wage growth has not proven a reliable indicator of future inflation for a very long time. So to try to gauge underlying inflation, I want to tell you about a couple things I've always looked to. I find it instructive to disaggregate the 199 individual components of the PC price measure. Over the last 12 months, 54% of goods and services in this basket showed price increases above 3%. This is well below the post-pandemic highs of about 77%, but it remains well above the level of 32% in a couple of the decades that preceded the pandemic. Looking over just the last 6 months, the conclusion is similar. 49% of goods and services in the PC basket showed price increases above 3%. Again, this is well below the post-pandemic highs, but still elevated, quite elevated. The recent rise in overall commodity prices also bears watching. What we need to judge is whether the trends we see indicate upside inflation risks. Now, it matters, too, whether the inflation readings of the past 5 years have seeped into expectations. The good news is that measures of inflation expectations in the medium term, by and large, look stable. And inflation compensation measures from the swaps market send a strong and similar message. Especially in light of recent developments, it's a credit to the Fed as an institution, consistent with the best of the Fed's traditions, that market prices show confidence that we will deliver price stability. And I can assure you, they're right. The thing about market measures of inflation expectations in economic history, I know some economic historians in the audience, is they all tend to look really strong and durable until they don't. These expectations are not pushed around easily, and right now they are very well anchored. But they must be closely minded, and it's the Fed's job to make sure that inflation expectations do not get unanchored. Now, there is one signal nobody can miss. The responsibility for 65 months of sustained elevated inflation sits squarely with the central bank, and that's where it belongs. So here is my standard. We must be confident that underlying inflation is moving to our objective, clearly and at sufficient speed. Otherwise, we have work to do. That's our job, that's our mandate, and that's our charge to keep. So I've covered quite a bit of ground in the last 25 minutes or so. Let me see if I can conclude this way. I stand here today committed to a discipline, not a decision. My Fed colleagues and I are hardly the first to hold these positions in a time of great consequence. We are determined to redeem the time by doing our very best work. For those of you that know us, you'll know the following is true. We take our responsibility seriously, with humility and with resolve. We know so much depends on the choices we make. Sound monetary policy helps households and businesses to prosper. When carried out effectively, it broadens and deepens the momentum of our economy and helps to secure America's leadership in the world. And I know that our country needs us to think carefully and act wisely, perhaps now more than ever. It's a tremendous honor to serve once again at the Federal Reserve. I'm truly grateful for the encouragement, good counsel, and the warm reception I've received in my first 100 days from my colleagues. I'm also honored and grateful for the views that I've gotten, solicited and unsolicited, from so many of you in this room. For that, and for your kind attention this morning, I say thank you. Let's get on with the rest of the program.
All right, guys, so that is Kevin Warsh today. It's definitely a more hawkish reaction than expected here, to be honest. Kevin Warsh, I think the speech was actually very hawkish. You can see the dollar index. Oh, wait, it's over here on my charts now. You can see the Dixie right now. The Dixie is flown up. Markets have interpreted this as hawkish. Gold is down. A lot of focus on inflation and price stability. Not a lot of focus on the labor market. That is hawkish, restrictive. Rate hike odds have increased substantially here. We can look at the rate hike odds now on the Fed Watch tool. They are now up to almost 44% ahead of next month's meeting. They're down right now, but last time I looked at them, they were almost 44% here for hike odds now. 44%. So hike odds are on the table now. It's looking like maybe we hike rates next meeting. We'll see. I don't know. He said a lot of focus is going to be on prices. That's all he said. And so, maybe I'm wrong and maybe we do raise rates next meeting. It's possible. I think after this speech, unless he's just going to kind of fake everybody out, I think you could also, speculate, hey, gold is reacting in a similar way. Gold is negatively reacted to this. The dollar index, which again, as yields go up, people have to use the dollar to buy these bonds, right? So as people pivot to bonds and as investors flock to bonds, they have to use the dollar, to buy the U.S. Treasury bonds. And so the dollar strengthens as we have hawkish sentiment because yields rise. People flock to the dollar. People flock using the dollar to buy bonds. Gold goes down because more people are buying bonds versus gold and other risk-on assets. Bitcoin has fallen here, but not that much. But Bitcoin is still down. Gold is down net. So it was a hawkish speech. Markets have interpreted it. Yeah, now we're almost 46% likely of a Fed rate hike this year. 46% chance we raise rates this year, chat. What do you guys think, hawk or dove? I think you got to go hawkish. I don't think you could argue dove at all here on this speech. So I really don't think you could argue, bygones, apparently, guys. I really don't think you could argue dovish at all from this speech. I think you could look at markets. You could look at yields right now. Look at 2-year treasuries. I bet you they're popping right now. Yields. 2-year treasury yields, I'm sure they're spiking up right now. Look, here's 2-year treasuries. Look at that spike in 2-year treasury yields. Does anybody think this is dovish? I don't think it's dovish at all. I think this was an incredibly hawkish speech. But does anybody think this was dovish? It's not hawkish. Straight pigeon. Do you think rates will be raised in December after midterms? Maybe. I think there's a chance they raise them next meeting now. He doesn't like to give out forward guidance, but, him saying they continue to focus on price stability seems a lot like maybe he's trying to tell us something here. Hawkish AF. Yeah, I thought it was hawkish as hell. Talk is BS. Dovish, not dovish. Definitely a chance now. Yeah, I think the hawk odds should go up. I think he's been a lot of focus here on price stability now. Also, did you guys see the benchmark revision was only 79K? They expected 183K positive, but it was 79K, so weaker job. So a little bit of dove spice in there. But in my opinion, this was very hawkish. This speech was very hawkish. Rate hike odds have interpreted it as such, and they are digesting this as pretty freaking hawkish. Also, guys, if you want to help, do me a favor here. If you want to do me a favor, check out Apex. Apex has very cheap accounts. If you want to learn to day trade, one of my sponsors here, and we don't plug a lot, but one of my sponsors is Apex. Not a sponsor, but an affiliate. Most day traders lose money. So if you put up your own account trying to, day trade, you're probably going to lose thousands of dollars if you fund thousands of dollars into your account. It makes absolutely no sense to do that. On Apex right now, you can get a $16.70 account, $16.70 account using code BGT. You can get a $75 5-pack bundle of the cheapest accounts. If you want no activation fee, you can get a 100K no activation fee account for $59 right now. You can get a 5-pack bundle. What is it? Cheaper than that now, right? It's like $270 or $295 for a 5-pack bundle. So again, if you want cheap accounts, you can use my link, help support the channel. Here is the link right here. I'll put it up. Also, guys, Lucid has direct to funded accounts. So again, here's the Apex link. If you want to go direct to funded and skip the eval, and this is useful because again, most day traders are going to lose money. Doesn't matter what course they take, who they follow, you're probably going to lose money day trading. And so if you want to check out the link, I don't think it was vague. Somebody say there's the link right there for Apex if you want to check it out. Again, Lucid, by the way, guys, also has direct to funded accounts here on Lucid. Direct to funded accounts. If you look at Lucid here, sorry, I'm trying to pull all these up. Well, where'd it go? There it is. You can buy a direct to funded account right now on Lucid. My code will get you the max discount. End of day drawdown options. I still think Lucid Flex is the single best account to get funded in. But if you want to skip the test altogether, 25K funded account under 230. Direct to funded account cheap on Lucid. Check them out. Again, a great way to help support the channel. What about it was dovish? I see some people saying dovish here. What about it was dovish? What time is the Kevin Warsh concert? But man, look at the hike odds now, dude. Nasdaq's starting to, Bitcoin's starting to bounce back. Where's gold at here? Gold is at 46.20s. So gold's starting to rebound back up. I interpret it as hawkish, though. I think he didn't say, again, what would be dovish? Right? Dovish would be like, hey, yo, the economy's weak. The labor market's faltering. Unless we do something soon, recession risks are on the table. That would be a dovish speech by Warsh. This was the opposite of that. A hawkish speech, a restrictive speech, like an inflation-fearing speech, again, is hawkish. Hawkish speech is saying, yo, we're going to focus on price stability. Prices are more of a concern right now. He also said in the speech, a lot of hawkish things in the speech. And again, markets in general interpreted this as hawkish. Yield spiked, dollar index spiked, gold dumped, Bitcoin fell. The Nasdaq overall dropped, but it's kind of flat right now on Friday based off of just chips and memory and more. So dovish. Yeah, if you think he was dovish, explain yourself here. Because I don't think he was dovish at all. I don't think he said anything particularly dovish in the speech. I don't think he said much that you can interpret as dovish at all. No? Again, what was dovish about this speech here? Let me know. He said the economy is strong and resilient. That's a hawkish thing. Again, if it was dovish, he would say the economy sucks right now. Basically, we're going to have to cut interest rates or enter a recession. That would be a dovish speech. Hawkish speech. People correlate dove with good and hawk with bad. No, hawkish just means they're focusing on inflation more than the labor market. If he says the labor market's good, inflation's a problem, that's hawkish, right? If he said the labor market's shit and, inflation's cool right now, that would be dovish. But he did not say that. He said inflation market's fine. Or no, he said labor market's fine, inflation's a problem. Prices are a problem. We're going to try to follow the dual mandate. We're going to try to bring prices down. Our focus should be on price stability. That's very that's very hawkish. Yeah, long-term bonds are up. Which means, I don't know, man. Bond prices are up, which in theory should mean yields are down. But when you look at 2-year Treasury yields, which follow more so what the Fed is doing, they have gone basically straight up. So long-term bond prices might be down, but yields are up. Or long-term bond prices might be up, but short-term 2-year yields more accurately reflect the Fed. And if you look at the Fed watch tool, the easiest way to put this is that hike odds went up. Again, hike odds now 46% likely for next meeting. We're basically going into it similar as what the last meeting was, where we have very, very split, almost 50-50 chance hike versus pause. Well, one of the, right now we're at 46% chance, again, that we're going to raise rates next meeting. 45.7. But one of the things that Warsh's stance on not giving out outlook or base case situations regarding rates is going to be heading into the Fed meeting. There's going to be a lot more unknown going into each individual Fed meeting, which makes it more exciting for me to cover, makes it more interesting going into it, makes more people want to watch it, but still, yeah, I mean, somebody said not hawkish at all, markets bouncing. I mean, if we're talking about rate hikes versus pause, it was hawkish. Markets could be bouncing, but the markets moved on a lot more than just Fed rate decisions, right? Like Nvidia, MU, SanDisk all running today. Like the market's probably bouncing on memory rebounding. Nvidia's down slightly though, but again, Marvell sideways. Market's probably rebounding on that. Gold is still net down from the speech. Bitcoin is still net down from the speech. So I would say the speech was hawkish, although Bitcoin actually isn't net down. Again, what was dovish about it outside of markets responding? You could say dovish, he is going to do the correct thing to address inflation. The correct thing to address inflation in the Fed's terms is regarding rate hikes, right? So if he says he's going to do the correct things to address inflation, that would be hawkish. That means, hey, we might raise rates. That's why rate hike odds went up. Hawkish, again, you got it mixed up, Daniel. Dovish means inflation fearing, meaning if they're going to do things to address inflation, that's hawkish means inflation fearing. Dovish means fearing labor market weakness and favoring more stimulation versus restriction in the Federal Reserve. Hawkish is restrictive, means inflation fearing, labor market's fine, let's focus on inflation. Dovish is stimulation bias, like, hey, inflation's fine, let's stimulate the labor market because it needs it. Markets really seem to misunderstand this a lot, though. He could have said we will prioritize using monetary policy to address inflation. I mean, he said some pretty similar things to that, though. Like, listen, in the speech, he said this, right? He said, let's quote it here. I posted a lot of this in the chat already, but he did say some things like that. He said the Fed has more work to do unless confident underlying inflation is moving towards 2%. He said the Fed has more work to do. He says the Fed's predominant focus should be on prices. He said July meeting's good majority judged waiting was the wiser course. He says price stability numbers are quote unquote more concerning. Prices are more concerning. He says 2% PCE inflation target is firm and fixed. Fed must deliver stable prices. Says medium-term inflation expectations are broadly stable but must be closely monitored. Said wage growth is moderate but not a reliable indicator of future inflation. Said labor markets are stable. Economy appears to have strengthened and performance is excellent or impressive. He said he is hard-pressed to describe financial conditions as restrictive. Says credit and loan markets show few signs of policy restraint. But essentially more focus was on inflation than the labor market. He essentially said the labor market was fine. And so that all sounds to me is hawkish, you know, but you could argue. Yeah. Yeah, hawkish means restrictive, meaning like, I don't know. My dad's a falconer, believe it or not, right? So he trains falcons and hawks. We hunted with him growing up, right? Falcons dive. So when I hear of restriction, they're trying to push inflation down like a hawk dives. Doves, they are trying to expand the labor market. They're trying to stimulate the labor market. He's open to, yeah, again, rate hike odds increase substantially here. I haven't traded yet, though. This is kind of, I'm waiting. We're starting to rebound back up, and maybe memories and chips continue to just rip here today. Like maybe that continues to happen. Nasdaq's starting to love it though. Maybe I'll trade this. We'll see. But the Nasdaq is liking this right now in markets here. Nasdaq go. Do I trade this now? I'm tempted to buy this. I mean, it looks strong, but I also am worried that maybe we're going to range. Memory name's still bouncing back. NVIDIA could rebound too if memory and NVIDIA go in the same direction. Maybe we'll get some good stuff. I'm tempted to short here, actually. You know what? I'm shorting here. NVIDIA right at the VWAP. NASDAQ's been in a range all day, and it's Friday. It's very small right now, though, but let's see if we get a little bit more here. Maybe I'll add 6 contracts into this. There we go. We got 6. I think I'm down this week, but we made money last week, I think. But it's been a really like boring week, to be honest. I mean, we haven't had any big data or anything like that coming out this week. But yeah, we're gonna have to cut this. Yeah, just not good results trading this week. Just a huge rip up as I do that. Let me see if we have any news. I don't think we have any other news today. Full port short now. I don't know after this move. I think markets are starting to get excited here. Here's gold. Again, I think markets are hawkish now based off of this report, but it's not easy to predict. Rate high gods went up, though. I think that's pretty hawkish. Yeah, I'm giving it a second. Again, some weeks are just not good, and that's fine, you know. NVIDIA did reject it, the VWAP. I'm wondering if it's going to push markets down now. Depends on if memory keeps bouncing, though. MU SanDisk memory names. It's also, like, prior to the weekend here. So, like, the weekends here, there's more unknown about geopolitics over the weekend, so it's hard to figure out exactly what we're going to do. Long-term bonds are popping. They are moving up, which means yields are going down. Yeah, so I mean, if long-term bonds are going up, that means yields are falling down some. But yields are already up from the speech net, I think. All right, let's see if I was right about this dip down here. We just jumped in another short. We're trying to take larger size. I'll take some of this off here, though. If we start to push down here now, I can hold it close to break even. And the rest. But I'd love for us to just fade back down now. All right, we're going to take half off here. Hold 3 left. Again, chat, if you have not already, again, check out Apex. Apex is a great way to help support the channel. The cheapest accounts in the game, and most day traders do lose money here. Chat, so like most day traders are going to lose. Right? Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, you're probably going to lose day trading. So if you fund your own account thousands of dollars, you're probably going to lose that. I might add more to this, to be honest, here. Think about adding. And it makes no sense to fund your own account thousands of dollars just to give it back to the market here. So we added a little bit here. Let's see. We're in the profit for sure on this trade. But if you want to check this out, I'll put the link up. Pawn just sent me this. You know, which is pretty funny here. Canadian geese are now going to be referred to as Donald Ducks. I don't know where it came from, but I love it. I love it. All right, let's get out of this now. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm trying to catch a falling knife here. Long-term bonds are going up, though, which is weird. I'm still trying to give it a second here. Let me see if Brit's here. Let me call Brit. Let me mute this so it's not super loud for you guys, since I think I turned the desktop audio up a ton. Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Hello, Pizza Hut. Are you there? Let's try to join it again. That goose has a nice haircut. Yeah, I mean, you can learn day trading with your own money, but it's incredibly risky. Hey, Britt. Yo. You there? Hello.
What's up? You
There
rang?
you are. Yeah, dude. Pizza Hut. Is this it?
Yeah, this be me.
I'm going to change my name to
Pizza-
Pizza,
Pizza
last
the
name Hut.
You know.
Yeah, Pizza the Hut. I believe it. The Hut of Pizza. How you doing, Britt? What did you guys think? What did you think about Warsh?
I mean, it didn't seem too. I don't honestly. It seemed pretty hawkish, but I don't really know enough about it to make too much of a call.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hawkish just means inflation fear, right? So like if the Fed fears inflation and they need to raise interest rates to push the economy down to combat inflation, that's hawkish, right? If the Fed fears like a recession or weakening in the labor sector more than inflation, that's a dovish Fed. You could say, I think you could argue reasonably that Warsh was neutral, but I also think arguing that he was hawkish is pretty easy as well. He didn't say anything negative or weak about the labor market at all. He did say prices were a concern, right? And so because of that specific dynamic, I lean more towards hawkish Warsh. Warsh is hawkish. And again, rate hike odds mirror that sentiment. They've gone up to 46% likely that we raise rates next meeting. So.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't put a whole lot of stock in what the odds are now, though, just because they change so much, so often.
Sure. No, that's probably the right move. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens next week. Next week is honestly, like, this week was big. Next week, I would say, is probably bigger. Why is next week bigger? Next week is bigger, guys, because next week we have the jobs report. So we're going to see how weak jobs are. We got JOLTS on Tuesday, ISM data on Tuesday, ADP jobs report Wednesday. Thursday, we have ISM services. We have jobless claims. We have trade balance data. And then Friday, we got the actual payroll report, the non-farm payroll unemployment report on Friday next week. So, but honestly, markets are still kind of rallying back up here. I'm still tempted to short if I'm forced to do anything here. But the Nasdaq's starting to bounce up some, up to 760s, maybe 30,000 staring at us. I'm watching Nvidia though and MU. I want to see what these do here. But do we have more escalation over the weekend is probably a question you should ask. Warsh is neutral, maybe Fed's board's hawkish. Yeah, I think the Fed's board's definitely hawkish. I think most of those, I mean, we had 3 dissenters last meeting. And so they seem hawkish to me, and he's probably dovish, but at a certain point the pressure might get to one of those sides. All right, so I might jump in another short here. Let's go to 800. Bro. We're out of the catalyst for the rest of the day. What to expect now? I mean, I really don't know, to be honest here. I think we could chop in anticipation of like weekend potential. But it's Friday and you never freaking know. My memory name's starting to come back. We've been shorting this most of the morning here. But inflation trending up, employment trending down, earnings trending down. Yeah, I mean, and he acknowledged price problems. Inflation has been trending up. A lot of it's due to oil and like the first and secondary effects of it. But I mean, inflation is a problem, don't get me wrong. Inflation, America's, is the economy good? I don't know. Do you guys think the economy is good right now in America? Almost every time I ask this question, people are like, no. I think even if we were like in the mid 80s, people would still say no. But is the economy good, guys? What do you guys consider? Let's see what we have. NASDAQ. No, definitely not. I mean, Bitcoin, if we look at Bitcoin and gold, Bitcoin is kind of flat from this meeting overall. It didn't really move too much for Bitcoin here. So, for a young person, it's expanding. Maybe I'm being too stubborn. It's also weird to listen without music. But what time is it right now? It's pretty late. Hey, thank you for the sub. Quality. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's 9:53. But
Oh, it's getting late, dude. All right. Should I go, guys? I guess I should. Huh? It's Friday. I don't mind leaving early. I mean, I'm not leaving early. Everything is high, not for a young person. Overall economy is trash. Check PC, RAM, Apples. Go ahead, Britt.
we're in the. Well, I think we're in the midst of a potentially a huge rebuild and reindustrialization of our country. Potentially, if things go right and people are willing to bear with, some of the, I don't know, some of the struggles in the meantime. But right now, overall, no, I don't think the economy is very good. I know the market's high, but just because the market's high doesn't mean anything for regular people.
Sure.
Grocery prices are incredibly high. Housing costs are incredibly high. The cost of day-to-day living is going up. Healthcare costs are going up. Insurance costs are going up. No, I don't think we're in a good economy right now, but I think that we're in the beginning stages of building a better economy.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I think it relies heavily on reindustrialization, though. I truly do. I know a lot of people don't think that that's super important, but our economy and our country was never stronger than when we exported
Manufactured.
product.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can they not hear Britt as well? Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Again, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Who's trash?
Oh, they missed all that. That was some good stuff.
No, they got it. I mean, did y'all hear Britt?
I mean, I'm kidding. I'm kind of patting myself on the back or whatever, but
Yeah. No, for sure. Anyways, guys, look, if y'all want to help support the channel, check out Lucid, check out Apex, check out Tradeify. Yeah. Use code BGT at checkout, guys. BGT will get you the max discount. Whatever the max discount is, you'll get it using code BGT. Apex, Tradeify, Take Profit, Lucid. Apex has got the cheapest accounts in the game still, though, guys. So if you haven't already. And look, if you appreciate us covering, we cover every big market event like this, like that goes on. So every big market event, we genuinely cover it. Warsh, FOMC, CPI inflation, PCE inflation, all that good stuff. If you appreciate us spending our time, here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Have a great day.
We appreciate all the support. Everyone have a good one.
Yeah, later, guys. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Y'all be safe. Have a good one.
Later, everybody.
Later, chat.